Here we go.
Yeah, it's a recording. Hello, my name is William Burnett. This is Talk Video, and I'm here with special guest Ron Morelli. How's it going, Ron?
Going pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. New Year's Day, so yeah.
Uh,
Everyone's a little slow out there.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you all.
January 1st, 2020.
2020. How about that? We made it to 2020.
I didn't even think about it. I wasn't like, oh, it's a new decade or whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it till people, like, mentioned it.
It sounds so dramatic. A new decade.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Same old stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a big change from 19 to 20.
No.
It's not like I guess because we all lived through the millennium,
Yeah.
Y2K. That was a
Yeah.
big deal.
What
But I don't remember it being a big deal when it was 2010 either.
No one cared about that at all.
But does the new decade actually start in oh no, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a terrible subject.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it's just another screwed up year to,
So yeah, welcome to Talk Video. You've seen quite a few episodes
Yeah, I've checked
so
it
far.
out. Yeah.
Even some of the unreleased ones.
Yeah. Membership has its privileges,
Well, I got to get some feedback from people. What was your favorite one so far? That's a weird question.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, they're all special in their own ways.
Yeah, some. Well, thanks for watching them. I know on the recent ones I said that I wasn't going to do too much autobiographical stuff, but it's kind of a good place to start. Those of you who don't know you, Ron Morelli, you're from Long Island, and you have a record label called Long Island Electrical Systems, also known as Lies, and you produce music mostly under your own name.
Yeah.
And you've done some other stuff along the way, but that's where you are now and how people will know you. So you're about my age,
Yeah.
early 40s,
Yep.
and and you're I don't know, you started in Merrick in Long Island, and you had like a pretty normal upbringing, I guess, like a
Yeah.
suburban. It's New York, but it's kind of suburbs pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's the suburbs. It's like 15, 20 minutes from Kennedy Airport, but close to the beach also.
But on the other side.
No, on the beach side.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's actually the same piece of land as whatever Brooklyn. You could just if you kept walking along the beach, you'll hit Coney Island.
Yeah.
But it's far. It's not far, but you don't want to walk it. Yeah.
So that's Merrick.
It's all it's like white flight suburb from the boroughs.
But as a kid, you go into the city often. Is that like part of you like go ice skating at Rockefeller Center or stuff like that?
All of that all the time.
But like you go like every weekend?
Not every weekend, of course. As a teenager, I started going quite a lot to go to punk and hardcore shows in the city, and then also just to what we would call wilding out in the city, going to Times Square in the early 90s to get fake IDs and drink 40s and kind of cause teenage mayhem, if you will. Things like that. But as a youth, yeah, you would be going to the Museum of Natural History. You have to go to see the opera.
You do that thing where you like put the penny and it goes around.
I don't know what that is.
They don't have that. You put the penny like in the thing and it goes around like this and it goes really fast.
Is that like roulette or something like that?
No, it's not gambling.
Teenage roulette.
Whatever. It's just I don't know. Whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, when you're in school, they make you go to cultural things in
field trips
in New York City. Yeah. But basically everyone a lot of the people these terrible, I can't overstate or understate or overstate how terrible the people from Long Island are. They're awful human beings living there. Awful, horrible scum of the earth people. And they all probably were living in the boroughs of, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan. And once they had a little affluence, it was white flight from the city to Long Island.
And I'll agree with you there. I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's undoubtedly these are terrible people who live in Long Island. Awful.
So that was the 80s.
Yeah, 80s, 70s. Yeah.
So in the 80s, you maybe made it to being a teenager almost,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
so you're going into the city and sneak it off. Were that, like you said, you go to hardcore shows? Were there some that were there? It's all ages, or you
Yes.
had to get the fake ID?
No. It's all the places like ABC No Rio were all ages, and maybe CB's is 16 plus or something like that. And then the bigger venues, I think. I don't remember ever being ID'd to get into any of these places, to be honest. It was a different time also. So, yeah.
And what you're seeing, like local bands or touring bands or what?
Everything, yeah. A lot of local stuff, and then you would see touring bands. That's, you go see the Jesus Lizard. That's like maybe in 1993, 94, maybe even 92. But yeah, like Jesus Lizard, Butthole Surfers, Shellac was around then, maybe not. Things like that.
Yeah.
But then that was more like indie rock stuff. Then also there was all sorts of local tough guy New York hardcore stuff like Agnostic Front and Madball and Warzone and Quicksand. That wasn't really tough guy stuff. That was like more
college guy. Maybe go to college guy.
That was more informed. But then you'd go to ABC No Rio and see like the more political, left field type of bands like Rorschach and Born Against. Those were local bands.
So this is probably like 1991 or 92 or
92, 93, around there. 94, maybe even.
Yeah. Because I just had Juan McLean on it, and he had kind of similar story. He was touring with some of those bands, like with Jesus Lizard and.
Okay, right.
And he had some stories about them. Also, he was really into the Butthole Surfers, as was I.
Yeah, me too.
Which is like, it's weird that are these bands like still talked about now? Sort of.
Maybe by us, like people of our age. I think probably younger people don't care about it.
Yeah, or maybe because the one they do know is that weird like Locust Abortion.
Locust Abortion.
Is that the one that was on MTV?
I think, is that the one with the clown on the cover of it? I can't
No,
remember.
that's Locust Abortion, the brown one that had like the MTV video and stuff.
I don't even remember this
one.
Yeah,
I can't remember that one, but that was kind of like not their good one, and that's like the one if you bring it up, people.
Is that the one with Hurdy Gurdy Man on it?
I don't think so.
They did a cover of that.
No, I don't think so. I like the black one with like the pink and orange like line drawing.
Yeah.
I can't. Psychic powerless another man's sack, I think is the name of it. I don't know how I remember it, but it has a song with the like hawking loogie, the like toilet flush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that song. So those are the bands you're seeing. It's not
well, I was into all that kind of stuff, so it was kind of across the board, from tough guy, like New York hardcore, then like more like thrashy political stuff at ABC No Rio, and then you'd go to the venue like the Roseland, which is something like 3,000 capacity, which would be full.
Yeah.
When Butthole Surfers would play, it would be full,
like
to capacity, which is kind of,
with like circle pit.
Yeah, and like freaks, it was a real freak show back then. It was cool. You felt like you were involved in something was happening. Actually, it was quite a time,
and
I think.
Did you have like a posse you rolled with, or you were solo?
Not really, like maybe one or two people. Like
you would just find one person to go with you and like take the train in the city.
Yeah, sometimes it was alone. For a lot of for the more indie rock stuff, I had like one or two friends who had a bit of interest in it. But when I would go to the punk and hardcore stuff, it was a lot of times I was just sitting there by myself, but like all afternoon. Yeah.
You didn't like see people you knew that you're like, oh hey, there's the guy I met from the last show. Or
I didn't really talk to people. I kind of like laid. I didn't get friendly with people, like until a bit later on.
Until I was 40.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, right? It's taken a while. But on the other side of things, there was a scene for this kind of music in Long Island as well, and there was a very kind of important venue. There was like a DIY all ages venue. It was called the PWAC. That was in Lindenhurst, Long Island, and that was run by a guy named Artie Philly, and he's kind of responsible for, us seeing a lot of bands back in the early 90s. Like him and like some other people. It was like this thing, PWAC, People with AIDS Coalition, like some non-for-profit kind of center. I don't know, what they would do. But they were able to have these kind of crazy shows there. And at first it was quite kind of small, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I think at some point it got too big, and there was a police raid, like maybe 4 or 5 years after, and it had to get shut down.
And then no more shows.
Yeah, but then by that time it was kind of time to also move on a bit as well.
Yeah, I've been thinking about. I mean, you're talking about that stuff. I have a friend. You know Johnny Stiff?
Johnny Stiff, no.
He's like the man with van guy. He comes and hangs out at the thing.
Okay, I don't know.
He was a party promoter, and I think he was more Queens though. But
Okay.
I've been thinking about having him on to ask about this kind of stuff, because
Yeah.
I'm sure you could talk to this guy about it like all day long.
Yeah, there was so many venues back then. It was crazy. There was even, there's a lot of heavy metal too from out in Long Island. Like there's so many hair bags and dirt bags and metalheads from out there. There was all these bars called like Hammerheads and the Right Track Inn, and of course there's a place called the Roxy.
Yeah.
And then there was this really famous one that was out in eastern Long Island. That's kind of like maybe, I don't know, hour and a half out, called Sundance. That was supposed to be a real I didn't get to go to Sundance ever, but that was supposed to be like the kind of legendarily violent venue to go to.
It's like Fight Club or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
weird
you
that
know, skinheads and just nasty Long Island scumbags just smoking angel dust, like stabbing each other,
throwing pool balls at each other.
Yeah. Like Hell's Angels meets Dirtbag meets Crackhead or something like that.
I know I said I wasn't gonna get personal, but was your family aware you were going to this stuff?
Yeah, because
You're like, hey mom, I'm going down to the hardcore
yeah,
show.
they were just like, don't get arrested or something, And
As long as you didn't get in trouble, it was fine.
yeah, just stay out of trouble and whatever. Yeah, just don't have the cops calling us. For
And the
anything.
train and stuff was relatively was
it's
taken
right
over.
right by my house. Yeah,
No problems.
Jump on the train, or if it's in Long Island, I have to borrow my family's car to drive out there.
And did like at that time you're a kid, I know in New York City you like get a free train pass or whatever.
Yeah, not Long Island.
Not the Long Island Railroad.
Because that's like more. It's probably like, I don't know how much it was back then. $6.75 to go one way into the city or
so
something.
it's not that bad anymore.
No,
It's probably and the subway was $1 or something.
maybe like $1.25. The
Yeah.
subway was. It's crazy to think how cheap.
Yeah. So that, I mean, it's weird to me that you didn't have friends to go with you.
Well,
You know
I
what I mean?
mean-
You didn't have like one buddy that you went with.
Well, like one or two. As I said, like
So you're not in touch with any of those people, or
I played in a band, and I'm in touch with all the guys from the band, but we didn't start playing music till we were in college together. So those guys I'm all in touch with, actually.
but they're not from.
They're from Long Island too.
Oh, they are.
But we started the band outside of Long Island when we were in upstate New York, actually. But I didn't know them back when I was in high school or junior high.
Okay.
So we didn't know each other back then.
But you may have been at some of the same shows.
We definitely were, because we talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you made it through high school without getting arrested,
Never got arrested. Can't believe that.
and you finished school and did well enough to go on to college.
Yeah, I even graduated college somehow.
So you stayed. You didn't go crazy. You didn't go to California. You stayed in New York.
I was
City.
going to go to California after college, and I didn't actually.
Yeah.
I stayed in the city.
It's too expensive, I guess.
You just have this. I always still to this day have this dream, being from New York. You just fantasize about California all the time.
Where did you want to go? Like Santa Cruz or something?
Wherever, yeah, like L.A. or it was never San Francisco. I could say that.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, I ended up spending a lot of time in San Francisco in the mid '90s to early 2000s, because I ended up having friends living there.
Yeah. Well, but that's because San Francisco was cool then.
Yeah. I didn't go to. I think I had only been to L.A. once in 1999, and then I didn't go back there for almost maybe 10 years or longer.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But now I prefer L.A. actually.
Yeah. Me too. So
Yeah.
so you went to college in what, New Paltz?
New Paltz, yeah.
And that's like the
State University. It's just it's nothing flashy. It's everyone from the city of Long Island just going up there and trying to get away.
all the wonderful people you met in Long Island.
Well, you know what? This school was kind of cool because it was a lot of really screwed up misfits up there. That's I was trying actually to not go to university. I was gonna. I used to have a job as an elevator operator. I was going to try to join the elevator operators union because it paid at this time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, at this time it was through a family member, it's through my uncle. At the time, I was an elevator operator in the summertime on a building on Broadway and East 19th Street. That was it's called the American Ballet Theater, practice there, and that's an actual job that you get paid a lot of money for. Is there's only 7 floors.
You get those tips on Christmas.
Yeah. And I had this job during the summertime, and I was like, I'm just not gonna, I'm just gonna do this. This is gonna be it, because at that time it paid something like $15 or $20 an hour, which this is 1994. That's a lot of money at that time,
Yeah.
I think. So
And especially if you're still living at home, you're like
yeah,
saving it all.
yeah. Well, I was
Going to college or whatever.
yeah. So but I was like, this college thing's a waste of time. I could just be racking up the dough and living it up.
Yeah, you would have had a place in Queens
I would have. I'd be probably out in Astoria
with
or
a yard and like a car.
Yeah, could have happened, but it didn't. They said they didn't want to ask me to join the union because I was going and getting an education, which obviously got me nowhere.
So you went to college and what did you study?
Literature.
Literature.
Yeah.
And what do you remember? Did you have like
I don't.
a book that really influenced you in college or
No,
something?
none.
Did you read any books?
I did the bare minimum. I'll be honest. I graduated. I did the bare minimum for all of it. To me, it was a waste of time. It was just it was something. It was this rite of passage, or this intermediary thing that you're kind of forced to do whether you like it or not. I mean, I hated school since I was a kid. I always ended up getting by and doing rather well with little effort. Save like math wasn't really my strong point.
Still isn't.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But
Damn.
But yeah, so I somehow I skated through college, and
But was there music stuff going? You said you had.
Yeah,
That was when your band formed.
yeah, so I met these, there was a lot of stuff, there was opportunity to do a lot of cool stuff up there. It was, it's an hour and a half from Manhattan, hour and a half drive, and then an hour from Albany also, which had like a hardcore and punk scene up there, and then not far from Massachusetts either, and Connecticut was there. So like you could just drive around and do shows where kind of if there was opportunities, but there was also, again, a lot of touring bands going through, and yeah, I met these dudes and we started this like hardcore punk band, and we toured and played local shows around New York and Jersey, and we toured America a couple times and put out some records and all that crap.
So like throughout the course of your 4 or 5 years of college, however many it took,
yeah.
How many shows do you think you played? Like hundreds or?
I would say we probably the band was around for 4 years, I think 3 or 4 years. We probably did around 100 shows. I never really we probably did because we did some pretty like long tours. So
yeah, you'd be like 25 city tour or something.
yeah, maybe not that much, maybe like more like 15, but yeah, still it's more than like when you go to this DJ thing, it's so easy. It's the weekend.
Yeah.
I see some of these band dates. They're playing freaking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're driving all the gear.
Yeah.
They're going to sound check. It's a terrible punishment, man.
And then you got to split the money with 5 dudes.
5 dudes. Everyone hates each other, and no one really likes the music that much.
Well, I'll like a little more.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Of this wine.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the other thing too is like that. I think too is like I didn't know you in college or whatever. I met you probably
Right
whatever.
after.
Was it really right after? I guess it was.
99. We must have met in 99 or
Yeah.
2000.
Well, but I always thought of you as like with like a hip hop. Like I thought you would like play hip hop when you DJs. But
Yeah.
Was there like a? I guess it all crossed over.
Well, that's
like
the thing. I was
golden era hip hop
Well, I was
time.
always into hip hop. That's the crazy thing. And when I say always into it, I mean,
From a little kid.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I remember I got Run DMC King of Rock, like when it came out at the store. Beastie Boys License to Ill when it came out at the store.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, of course. EPMD.
I've really learned that LL Cool J is badass.
Oh, he's great, man.
The more I've listened to it recently, like his beats, and I don't know does he do the music? Who does his stuff?
The first one was Rick Rubin.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
And who did like Jinglin' Baby and
That I don't know. Maybe that might have been Rick Rubin
I
too.
think it was actually.
Damn, I mean, Rick Rubin is a goddamn genius.
Have you been watching those talks he's been doing?
No.
He has a podcast now too.
Oh yeah, that I'd like to see.
He had,
Or check
but
out.
he has like a, he had one, but I mean, they're like people like I'm not quite that interested. It's like Pharrell and he had the one of the guys from.
Pharrell's interesting. I think.
Yeah, he
actually.
seems like somebody. He's like part of our generation, so I can like, or maybe he's a little bit younger.
Well, you know, Pharrell also co-produced the Rump Shaker with Teddy Riley. That's one of his
Yeah.
first productions,
Yeah,
which is just genius, dude.
Which is like, and but then that they also have that weird connection to like Missy Elliott and all those.
That
people
was
too.
Timberland's, right? Timberland did Missy Elliott.
But aren't they all like North Carolina people?
Virginia, I
Virginia,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a weird. I think he's kind of part of that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it's worth watching it.
I'm gonna check it out.
He had some, and then he had like Big Boy. Is that the guy from
Outkast? Yeah.
He had it, but it's like audio only. So I
Okay.
like when they have the video for some reason. I like to watch the YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's worth watching. But sorry, but you were buying hip hop.
Yeah.
When it came
like
out.
when it came out, and like even like Fat Boys when it came out, Prince, Purple Rain when it came out. It was just it was kind of it was the music of the time. That was I probably listened to hip hop before like I got into like Led Zeppelin and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and like Black Sabbath, and I also had a membership to those Columbia tape clubs, like that you see in the back, and you pay $1 and you get
Yeah.
50 tapes or 20 tapes, and then but then they really hit you over the head, and
Yeah.
like
And then they're like $14.99.
yeah, it's
after that.
crazy.
Yeah, a bunch of people had that. Like Lily had it, and
That's just such a crazy thing that
I had it too,
existed.
man. I bought but you get like 12 CDs for a penny, and then you like had to buy more, and then you just try to like ghost them.
Yeah, exactly. There was all sorts of scams you could do, but I was even younger that I couldn't scam out on it. I think I got yelled at because like you could just there's even like a self-postage stamp. You just drop that thing in the mailbox,
Yeah.
and the shit shows up at your door one day,
Like,
and your mother's like, "What are you doing with this? What is all this crap?"
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
I got
and-
it when it was CDs. I remember doing it
Yeah,
when I was like
I did the
freshman.
cassettes, man. It was crazy. I mean, yeah.
You didn't, so you weren't going to like a store to buy, or
I was also going to the store, Sam Goody.
like in the mall, or
Yeah, in the mall, at the Sunrise Mall or Roosevelt Field Mall. There was also this like kind of sick hood mall called Busy Bee down in Massapequa. If anyone was around, you know what I'm talking about. The Busy Bee Mall down right across. That was across from Sunrise Mall out there. That mall was weird because like there was like, like I'd ask my mom, "Yo, could we go over to Busy Bee?" And that was always a weird one because they would have like bongs there and like sex toys.
and you're like,
stuff.
"What's that, Mom?"
Like blacklight posters, bongs, sex toys, and then like
Edible
cassette.
panties.
yeah, all sorts of like deviant 80s type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah.
I mean, kids, you don't got those, it's kind of like these strange forbidden places, with the mystique. And
now kids have the internet and they just watch beheading videos
yeah,
or
just,
whatever,
That's just
like
crazy.
fisting or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
No, I mean, they probably like by the time a kid is like 7 years old, he's probably seen.
It's like the worst possible stuff ever you could see. I mean, it's like if you're having a kid, you got to lock the little bastard up in a freaking room until
No
they're-
computers, no phone.
No, man, you got to be like a Amish or whatever, something like, cut them off from all technological advancements.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, next thing you know, your kid's like a cam girl or something like that. I mean, that's just be like terrible. God, you don't know what the hell's just horrible shit. This world is so demented.
It took 11-year-old Cam.
Oh Christ! Oh Jesus! Whoa. You're gonna get arrested for
no,
that.
No, no, but I mean, it's
Oh
it's
God!
not
it's
even a cam girl now. You're just
whatever
they
the
do it. They're
fuck you
like
do.
a Twitch streamer.
See, I don't even know what Twitch is.
It's
I
just
haven't
they
even,
like go online and just like film themselves.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
just, this is
YouTube
just
stream.
awful. This world that we live in.
Yeah, and then people like watch it, and if you're like the most popular person, then you can like get paid somehow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the worst thing that I think in the '80s you would just hear about snuff videos. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
there's a-
faces of
Faces
death.
of Death and snuff videos. Those are like the two worst possible things that I remember. Someone's like, "Oh yeah, Larry's got this snuff video." I never saw one. Full
Yeah,
disclosure.
I
Thank
didn't
God.
wa-
I don't
wa-
want.
I never wanted to watch
No,
it.
me neither. But there was always these rumors. Oh yeah, he got it from his cousin's, friend's brother who was in the army or some, whatever. But that was like the worst stuff you could get your hands on, most likely back then. Now, who knows what goes on, man? You know,
I can't-
you
I
don't
mean-
you don't wanna. I mean, this is a terrible world we live in.
Because imagine what, like, you're an 11 or 12-year-old boy. You know how terrible you are,
Yeah,
and then now you can, like,
you have all access.
yeah, you can look up whatever you want to look up.
I mean, you could learn how to make very powerful weapons online at this point. I mean, you know, we used to make like these chlorine bombs as kids. I don't know, you get this certain amount of pool chlorine and Alka-Seltzer and seltzer water or something, and you mix up and you blow shit up with that. But now, who knows what you can make?
You saw that one kid? He like developed like a nuclear fusion or something in his back.
No, I didn't see that.
There's
I
like
mean,
some
it doesn't surprise me though.
But like, I don't know how, I forgot. He like took I don't know, whatever. You can, it's on the
It's just
internet. You can look it up.
evil. This internet thing has just ruined
So-
the entire fucking
So I
society.
guess the lesson of this is that it's a good thing you didn't have internet.
It's so good, man.
But okay, so you're doing the Columbia House thing. You're really but
yeah, you just hearing hip hop, getting into hip hop, and like.
but then you got into hardcore. You were never going to like see hip hop shows, because I mean,
no. I had this big coliseum by me called the Nassau Coliseum, and they would have like Public Enemy, they would have Run DMC there, Beastie Boys, but I was a little too young to be able to go to that alone, and I didn't have like some cool older cousin to take you there or something, so I never really went to that until like, you know, until I was in my teens, go to see like Boogie Down Productions or Beastie Boys or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I didn't see any of that stuff
Yeah.
till I was 14. I saw Check Your Head tour.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was like
exactly.
my hip hop shows.
But yeah, I didn't have like the older cousin or neighbor or something to take me to the hip hop stuff.
Because I mean, the other thing too, I don't know. Sorry to keep going back to this, but like when I was a kid in San Antonio, Texas, like breakdancing was so huge that when I was like, I don't even know how old I was, like 6 or something.
Yeah.
I took breakdancing
Sure,
classes.
of course, it was huge because of the movies. They had
Yeah, Breakin',
Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, Beach Street, and then, you know, also one of the first earlier records I got, which is really crazy, was, and this is a very famous, it's the K-Tel Breakdance compilation, which had Twilight 22, Electric Kingdom on it, 10-Speed, Kraftwerk. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. That was really crazy. The New York City Breakers were on it. That was like and I must have been like, again, like 8 years old, 7 years old.
Little kid.
Like that was, I mean, we were actually exposed to electro then, but we wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
If you asked me, did I ever hear Kraftwerk, I would have told you no. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so this is all, you know, I just, you know, wanted to clear that up, because I was like, when I first met you, I would think that you would, like, if I went to go see you DJ, I would think that you would play some hip hop or
Right.
something.
Well, I mean, actually early on though, I did actually DJ hip hop. I had good records, but terrible technique.
Because back then a hip hop DJ had, you know, or I guess still, I don't even know. I have
Well,
no
hip
idea.
hop DJing is like, back then it was so hard. You'd have to bring so many crates of records because the songs are pretty short, and
you're not playing the whole song anyways.
Yeah, and then also they have vocals all over them, so you can only really mix out on like certain parts. It's like super technical to do, and we also forget there's live drumming on all of it, so it's like the stuff's, it's only quick cuts. You're not doing like these long like techno blends or something like that.
Yeah. But so how did it go from you being like, okay, so you were in a hardcore band touring in college, and then did you immediately move to New York City after that?
Basically I finished, I think, in 98 or 99. The band stopped then. We were just like, it was good. I mean, those bands shouldn't stay around that long anyway.
Yeah.
And then I got a job and moved out to Brooklyn. And
Where was your first apartment?
I lived in Prospect Heights up by the Brooklyn Museum for like 3 months in 99, and then I immediately I lived with these 3 girls. They were like, it was awful, and they were really messy, actually. I was not feeling that. And then I got a place in Greenpoint on Huron Street, where I lived from, I guess, and then I stayed in Greenpoint for, I don't know, 15 years or something, 13 years.
Yeah.
I lived down the block from the Thing, and that kind of, and yeah, kind of everything was just unfolding. I knew I did play in some bands afterwards. We played a couple shows here and there, but I was like, I do not want to play music with other people anymore. It's just, I was like, this is just, it's awful. It's thankless. And then I kind of, like, I got into DJing pretty late, actually. Like,
Yeah.
most people get into DJing at, like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. Me, I think I must have been 23 or 4 or something, like, kind of old.
Yeah, me too.
Like, way after most people do it. But to me, it was a logical progression. You could be really creative, still involve yourself with music, not have all this extra baggage with all these terrible people. Not that the people were terrible, but you know what I mean. Having to deal with practice, and I don't like the way this part sounds. Like, you make all decisions, you control it all. You're still being extremely creative, and it was all, there was a puzzle to, when you're mixing records, you're fitting things together. It was to me, it was really pretty engaging and interesting.
So when you moved to New York at like 1998 or 99 or so, what I think of is that's about when I moved here in 99 also. So what I think of in New York is like that's kind of the tail end of the like club kids.
Yeah, that was it.
And then I think of Sonic Groove.
Yeah.
And maybe like Breakbeat Science or something like
sure.
that was kind of around. Maybe
Yeah.
this like, I don't know what else was.
Well, then tons of other record stores. Kim's. There were like 3 Kim's locations or 4 Kim's. There was all the stuff.
Record store. Other Music was big. Kim's Video.
All the stuff on the west side too. That was by Sonic Groove. Bleecker Bob's was still over there.
Bleecker Bob's.
There's all the punk stores down there too, next to Bleecker Bob's.
St. Mark's.
Generation.
Yeah.
Kim's on St. Mark's, which was just pretty amazing. I think it was taken for granted. I mean, we all went there, but also I would love to dig through it again and see what we didn't.
What happened
there.
to all those records, you think?
I don't know.
Did Isaac get them?
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder where they went.
That's a good question.
I guess they had sale. They were probably
they
pretty
blew it
smart.
out,
They sold them all at the end.
That guy who ran Kim's, he's actually called Mr. Kim. Apparently, this guy was like big bankroller on a lot of these crazy kung fu movies or something like that. I don't know the whole story, but he had a pretty interesting backstory. I'm sure someone else could tell it exactly.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know.
I mean, he had an empire, man. There was even like an Uptown location, I think.
Yeah. Oh, there was. There wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where it was.
Might be by Columbia or something like that.
Yeah, because I remember we used to go, me and Josh did Street Team around that time, and so we would go to every single record store in the city, like, every week, I forget about all those.
And then I think Rock and Soul's still around, too, man. Rock and Soul, we can never forget about Rock and Soul.
Yeah, it's still there now.
Yeah. I'm sure it is, actually.
No, it is, because doesn't Money Mike work there?
Yeah, Mike works there.
But I never go there. It's like, but the other weird thing too is that if you meet like a Rock and Soul customer, they don't know about The Thing, or maybe they know about A1.
They should probably know about A1,
but they don't. Like, it's a weird, like, there's like they don't know about.
But then we also forget about Beat Street in the Fulton Mall too, which was like that was another one. And then there was Fat Beats also.
I remember going there. I mean, just like totally green, like as a.
In Fat Beats.
Yeah. And
it was a bit intimidating.
And it was so loud. I've never been in a record store where it was like full club level volume.
But Ellie Escobar worked there at Fat Beats, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, man. You should have him on. He's probably got some really great stories because he grew up in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a real working DJ. That guy is actually, when I think of like a New York City DJ, that's kind of like, that is it. He did like all the club circuits. He worked probably, I think Bobbito was his neighbor. He might have even worked at Footwork. He produced for this hip hop group, I think Juggernauts they were called. And he did all the club circuit though, like
I don't know. I met him on the street one time.
Yeah, I think he's probably got a really really interesting backstory, because also he's intensely into like new wave, also and probably skating as well.
Like he knows about Figures on a Beach.
Oh, of course, I think so.
Not, I don't know. There's one of these mid-level bands that people know. I don't know. I would like to have all these. Like, when I think of working DJ, I also think of like Roland, like Rock One.
Rock One, yeah, exactly.
Another, he's got 2 gigs a night, probably. Three or 4.
But this is like real DJs, man. Yeah. Not like just show up to some techno club and then like walk out. This is like these guys work like. You have to keep the room moving. Like, it doesn't matter, whether you like the music or not. You need to keep the room going.
The drinks flowing.
Yeah, man. Because they were doing these like big ass bottle service club gigs and shit too.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to respect that hustle. That's the real deal.
But what I mean, so
All right, we're going off track.
no,
now.
it's okay. No, it's no problem to get back on. What I mean, so we describe all those record stores. That was kind of a.
Oh, and then Sound Library, of course. I mean, how could we
But
forget?
Sound Library was new or something, didn't it? Like not open till like 2000 or something.
No, it came pretty soon after A1 did,
Yeah.
because Rob and Steve used to work at A1. We all know this.
Oh, this is the other thing that
Yeah,
I've been talking about is if you're gonna open a record store, it always seems like you work at another record store right before.
Yeah,
And like where do the records come from?
You never really know where those records came from, right?
Oh, you
Yeah.
know where they came from.
Yeah, sure, I sure do.
But I talked to Jared about that, and
Yeah,
it was just a funny thing that it's kind of a running theme, it seems. But
sure.
but what I mean musically, what else? There was a huge. Well, so record stores were still big.
Yeah, I mean, even in '99, there were still so many record stores here.
I mean,
It was great. I mean, because I always had a day job. I would go out with my boy Pete, who Pete Leonard, or my friend Dave Elliott, and we'd make the rounds. We'd just we'd live in Greenpoint. Me and Pete at one point lived together in an apartment, really for like a year. We get coffee, we'd take the G to the L train, boom, right off at First Avenue, and we just work our way down, Sound Library, A1, go west, hit the stuff on
what was that other place? It was like kind of it was like off of St. Mark's, but it was like a purple place, kind of more like a indie.
Huh.
I can't remember.
And then what about that one where that create the dance music store that the Japanese guy had? Remember that one on
Vinyl
Mania? No,
yeah.
not Vinyl Mania, but then there's something Vinyl something, yeah.
And what Etheria also?
Etheria, yep.
And there was the other one with DJ Silver and
Etheria used to be called Adult Crash back in this is like 92. Like, and that's when like the BC Boys had the store Extra Large that was across in Tompkins Square Park. I mean,
and Temple Records was
Temple
there?
Records. I mean, there was so many record stores. It was nuts. It was really, really crazy.
Because I mean, yeah, it's just I guess what the point is that there was if you wanted to learn about music, you had to go to the store. There was no other choice.
And I mean, I think that's that's the way to do it. There should be people will disagree with this, but I think there should be a level of intimidation and being scared, and also not being allowed directly into this kind of world. You need to like take. No, because you need to take it's like an apprenticeship, It's like if you're an electrician, you don't just go into the house and start ripping out the wires, You like study under someone.
Yeah, you start somewhere.
You learn, you maybe cut some of the wrong wires a couple times, but no one gets killed, and things take time. Where like if you become an apprentice at a tattoo shop, you just don't go and start drawing on people. It's like first you sweep the floor, then you get to make the appointments, then maybe you get to tattoo on like a grapefruit, and like it takes time, and then I think in tattoo shops it's worse. You get like beat up, and like they force you to drink a lot of. It's like a frat or something like that.
I remember one time, I would like you would always like read the magazines and like get like the like DJ Hell playlist or whatever.
Right.
And I remember one time I like went to Sonic Groove with a DJ Hell playlist.
Right, and they made fun of you.
Yeah, and I gave it, and it was like Brennan Green was working.
Oh yeah, forget that.
And but in his defense, for once I'll defend him. He was like, you don't need these records. But I mean, the DJ Hell playlist wasn't that bad actually.
I mean, Hell at that point I think was into really cool stuff.
But he was like, you need this Doppler effect record.
Well,
or
there you
whatever,
go. Hey.
So that's the thing that happened at the record store. But I'm sure it happens online too,
Well, I don't know. It's just everything is all access now, and people, there's no paying dues, and there's something to be said for that. As much as some people are going to disagree, I think things take a lot of time to get. It takes time to learn and get good at things. It is a different time now. Like whatever, everyone has access, but I think it's good to get your ass kicked and to be told you sucked for like a while. There's only certain people who have true extreme talent who surpass all of us, and then there's everybody else, and you got to fight if you want to. It's true though, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, but everyone wants something easy. I mean, I could say it from my own example. Like, I would get vexed, in the early days of DJing. Why didn't I get this gig? Why didn't I get that gig? This DJ's a sucker, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? In the end, I actually sucked, and that's why I didn't get those gigs.
Yeah.
There was a reason, I mean, I don't think I'm good now even, but but it's not for me to say. But
I like when you play disco.
Yeah, that's
other
always
stuff.
fun. Yeah,
Other stuff, I don't know.
yeah, but
Should play hip hop again.
nah, that would be fun actually. But yeah, so like I don't know. Yeah, there is something to be said for the long process of taking the time and learning about stuff and failing too, and buying the wrong records and playing them and being like, oh man, I fucked up. I can't do that again. There's it can't be, all access all the time. Direct. I want it all now. That's what I mean. That's the way the world is. Everyone wants everything immediately now, and they think they deserve it, which no one deserves shit.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean,
does anyone deserve anything? I mean, you owe music. You owe everything to music. Music doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
It's really the truth. You should like have reverence for the fact that you. I mean, and then when you really step back, all you're doing is playing someone else's records. You didn't even make the goddamn thing. So think about that for a minute.
Yeah. I
Like-
mean, there's a lot of. It's a pretty complex issue.
It is. I mean, there's many facets to all this stuff.
Yeah,
but-
I don't know. I mean, the other thing, you can't get mad at someone. I've said this before because of when they were born or whatever. So that's
No,
not,
of course
not.
But I don't even think that's really.
That's not what you're saying.
I don't even think that's the issue. I just think.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's something to think about.
Well, listen, everyone wants it all the time. I mean, yeah, me too. I mean, yeah, I want the gigs, I want cash, a nice house, whatever, the whole thing. And there's no shame in saying that or having goals or desires. And if you think you deserve something, well, go out and get it then and do it better than the next person. That's what you really need to do. If you have disdain for what's around you, then do something that's better and that transcends the stuff that you dislike. Make your own world. I mean, I always look at someone like Ferenc, who has really,
Ferenc is IF for
yeah, he's made his own world. He lives his own reality. He's created this scene around the music he loves and himself, and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And why did he do it? Because that's what he didn't like, the music and the scene that was around him, so he made his own. And I mean,
Yeah.
we see where it is. It's crazy. I mean, and I think that's like, extremely important to if you want to, if you really think what you do is that special, then let it manifest and transcend the crap that you hate that's around you, if that makes any type of sense.
Well, but I
Maybe
mean,
it doesn't.
I think that there things that I could point out are that there's two things that have gone on recently in recent history that have changed DJing. The first one was probably like the LimeWire, kind of, you can have every song at any moment.
Right.
And then the second one was CDJs.
Yeah.
So that way you can, now you have, so this goes to your point, you have access to every song.
Yeah.
And anybody with a USB stick can
Anyone
do it.
can do it. It's not really special anymore, to be honest. I mean, I hate to say it, and it is what's in the DJ's hands. Yeah, no two people will play the same songs alike and blah blah blah. But it's become like almost everything. It's if every Uber driver is using the same Waze application, they're all going to be going down the same road, and there's going to be traffic. I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? It's you're all having access to the same songs, playing the same stuff. It's
but shouldn't this democratization make there be people, the cream rise to the top, or has that just not happened yet?
I mean, eventually, yeah, maybe it will. I don't know. I mean, to me, it just seems like there's even more DJs now than ever before. I don't really know.
But there's also more people in the world.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Did they all become DJs?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. There's more middle class people. When you're a middle class or upper middle class, you become a DJ.
I don't know. It's the lamest thing you could do, man. Like, isn't that embarrassing to say you're a DJ? That's your job. That's like you should be ashamed to say that. I mean, unless you were like doing it in the 80s, then it's like something of prestige. But now, it's like.
I guess I would never. If somebody ever asked me what I do, I say I work at a junk store.
Yeah. Say you run a consulting firm. That's always a great vague way to consulting.
For a couple of years there, but I had to put on my tax refund like musician.
Yeah, that's like.
And I was like, oh no.
That's like the lowest form of shit you could do. I think
Is it?
it's pretty bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're getting sidetracked. I don't
No,
know
it's
where we
okay.
were.
It's okay. We were talking about when you first moved to New York, what it was like.
Oh yeah, lots of record
what
stores.
was going on.
It felt magic. It felt like there was magic.
And-
But I think, like you said before, it's important to note that because we basically probably started DJing at the same time. It was the end of the real club era in New York City, and we were restricted to playing in kind of like bar venues, which are like, really bad venues. In the end, I think it's great that we had to do it, but like,
yeah,
because it may, I mean,
broken turntables, broken everything.
Yeah.
One turntable.
but also like you couldn't, if we were club DJs, you could only be playing club music then. Like if
We would
were
never be
DJ
booked to play a club. Like maybe Volume was the first
Right.
club we played.
Right.
I played at.
Yeah, I mean, Volume, same for me, or Ruby Lad, and that's even more of like an outlaw kind of club.
Yeah, it's like a DIY
Yeah.
kind of spot.
But it's a bigger venue. Like we never got to play these places that say Adam X. Like we never played. I didn't play at the Limelight. Actually, the Limelight was still there. I didn't play there though. But,
No.
But Dave Function was like booking it or doing nights there. But I didn't play there. But I think we went and saw Marcus play there or something like that.
Marcus Cabral.
Yeah.
Who worked at
but
Sonic
we
Group.
didn't. Yeah, but we never played. I mean, real clubs until I think we went to Europe. I mean, that's safe to say. There was there was not. It didn't exist at that for like almost 10 years.
So like, or what was the place on Banker Street that
Oh, Studio B.
Studio B
Right.
kind of?
So that was kind of a big club.
And then,
But Volume was first.
So there was so 99 2000 and then so things were healthy. There was like the first internet boom. There was kind of money everywhere, jobs, rent wasn't so bad. And then music kind of electroclash was going on a little
Mhm.
bit. And then 2001 September 11th happened. And then
Right.
everything kind of like a lot of stuff went out of business. All the record stores started
All the distributors went down.
yeah, and it was just kind of weird.
Syntax, Watts, whatever other ones there were. I think they all. Yeah, then Sonic Group moved to the Avenue B location, then eventually closed.
Yeah.
And then
Stuff just started shutting.
Yeah.
Everybody moved to Williamsburg.
I think the other thing too is like all the hip hop stuff started to stop too because there was Serato was coming, and then like so all these hip hop DJs just started using Serato too.
yeah.
So like think about that as like a business. Like if you're a hip hop DJ, you have to go because there's new club records coming out every week. You need the hot club record, right? If you want to get the club going, so you need to like go in there and those hip hop 12 inches are a lot of them. They're just disposable. They're good for a couple weeks. On to the next.
So that might have even started the like promo game where like you're playing stuff before it comes out.
Yeah.
Like that's where that kind of started.
But
Because I mean, even now, like by the time something comes out on a record, you've already been playing it for 6 months at some
Sure.
point.
But then I think I think probably before the dance music went down, I think a lot of the hip hop stuff just that was it when Serato hit, dude. It just crushed all the hip hop stuff.
Yeah. Weird. And what I don't remember when Serato came out, 2003 or something.
Something like
5.
something 3 or 5. I think around 2003, maybe 2 or 3. Yeah.
And then they would have
Awful
those
program, by
like
the
weird
way.
CDJs that were like in the like rack unit thing, like below.
Yeah.
I never used
And
those.
then they had that weird CDJ that looked like actually like a deck too. That was strange.
like a huge one.
Yeah, that huge. Like, who the hell used that? I don't know anybody who used that thing.
Or that people would start bringing in their own little unit. Or I guess people would bring their laptop sometime.
Yeah.
That would start too. So that begins into this weird kind of
Yeah, it was a weird time.
void. I don't know what went on there. There was kind of like the end of Electroclash, and then maybe like compact and minimal techno
That was really big here.
was starting to take over.
Yeah.
And I guess other music was still relevant. Somehow, they stayed in business.
Yeah, well, that's because it was also like a rock store. So I mean, when.
So you had completely stopped with the rock stuff by now.
Oh yeah, I was like that was like dead. I was just like this. I'm out of here. I got into like heavy duty, like all of us, into the disco stuff.
Yeah.
Like really heavy into the disco, and then you know, it kind of all worked. It kind of all worked in reverse. Like I was definitely into Bunker Records before I was into Underground Resistance.
And when you say Bunker, we need to clarify this is
the label from The Hague, run by Guy Tavares, that, you know, put out all the Acid Planet stuff, Unit Mobius, IF, Duracell, Lego Welt,
Org Electronique,
Org Electronique, DJ Overdose, Technician,
Novaman.
yeah, Mr. Pauly.
Yeah.
That was, I can never stress how important that label is for me personally. And, you know,
Do you remember how you found out about it?
I mean,
Or just at Sonic Groove?
Either at Sonic Groove or Kim's, but the other thing is you were bringing them, you and Lisa were bringing them here so often at that time. I think I'm not sure. I know Ferenc had actually been here in 2001
Yeah.
and played at Halcyon
At
or at Fun. At
yeah.
Fun. I
Yeah.
didn't go. Did you go to that? Or
Yeah.
No? See, I didn't go to that.
He played.
I think the set's online
he
too.
also played at Bowery Bar.
Wow. Okay.
But he played one record and then this bongo trio came downstairs and he
Jesus.
picked up his stuff and left as soon as they started. It's a
I can picture
legendary
that.
moment.
But I think
But
for me, when meeting those guys and learning about the label, that's when it all clicked for me. That was when it all made sense.
Yeah.
I was like, this is it. This is exactly what I've wanted out of electronic music. This is the real thing. These guys they do not give a fuck. They're doing what they want to do. They're making the most raw, primitive, destructive punk electronic music, you know, around. And you know, and on the other side of it, I wasn't, you know, I'd be lying if I said I was into it, but in New York there was Zark Records, which is kind of almost, I can say, is probably the New York equivalent to Bunker. And that was like this guy Patrick, and David Foster Huron, and also I believe there's a woman involved with it as well. I'm forgetting her name, but they, you know, that was New York City squatter techno stuff.
Yeah.
And the catalog's huge. It's kind of one of the more, and this is when it was still interesting. You could there's like raves in Tompkins Square Park. You could look at it on YouTube. All these freaks are there. This is like real New York City squatter, grimy techno, and it's, you know, devoid of melody, devoid of any musicality, just destructive, super underground stuff. And I actually didn't know about it back then.
Yeah.
But that was, I think, those two labels really make sense to me as far as what I was interested in.
So you don't remember like the moment you found it or anything? Like not
Bunker?
The first one.
I probably had to buy it from Sonic Groove. I would guess.
'Cause see, for me, I remember it was I was living in San Francisco before I came here, and my roommate Jeremy Chupacabras had moved to Barcelona,
Right.
and the rest of us came here to New York, and I went to go visit him and I had already kind of started DJing just at weird parties, just 'cause I had a lot of records, and I remember he was like, okay, this is, you know, we would go to the stores and you buy like Lime Records or whatever.
Right.
And like Bobby O stuff. And they'd be like, oh, check out this new stuff. And it'd be like Invasion Planet Records and like Bunker Records.
Right.
And then I came back to New York and then I found the Safety and Numbers guys and like Lisa and them. Lisa she, I should say, she.
HSU.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's pronounced she.
Okay.
I finally, she was working for Safety and Numbers. And I found out that they're selling these records there, so I met those guys.
Right.
And that's where all that started for me, is that I had a trip to Barcelona, and I was like, oh, Europe. That was my first trip to Europe, and I was like, oh, these people have I always thought of dance music as like jungle and candy ravers and
sure,
like, or what it didn't even think about it actually.
Right.
Club music, I was like, oh, you just take drugs and
well, that's what my friends were doing when I was in college, going to like all these punk shows and everything. They were all going to like all these raves. They were going down to Limelight. They were probably going to some of Adam's parties out in wherever the hell he was having them. These illegal
Adam X,
like bridge, under the bridge, storm rave stuff. All my friends, but you know, they all looked foolish because everyone had these giant pants. And I was just
stupid
like,
jewelry.
I was like, yo, that's not for me. So I was closed-minded. So I'm like, I'm out, you know. And also I wasn't into like taking tons of drugs either.
Yeah.
I wasn't against it, but I was just like, yo, that sounds like a nightmare being on 5 hits of acid and like having music
Having
beat
big,
your head
big
in.
pants.
Yeah, and like a pacifier, and then like and everyone would come back with like just these bad trip stories, like, oh my God, he jumped out of a moving car.
And Joey got arrested.
Yeah, and he had 10 bags of ketamine and he got caught smoking crack down this alley and ran from the police and
So we should thanks Guy.
lit a bum on fire.
Thanks to Guy Tavares for.
I mean, yeah, I cannot. You know, these guys from The Hague, they've you know, they've.
So it was a moment.
Really, to this day, it still is. If you listen to the recent Bunker records, they're on top of everything, man. They're just, I mean, Guy never stopped, and you, I mean, the proof is still there. What is it, 25 years now later?
Yeah.
It's just, he's an unrelenting force. The man does, you know, again, does what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and it's still, as far as I'm concerned,
I haven't seen.
extremely valid.
I ran into him with the overdose at Clone, like one of the last times I was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. He seemed all right, but he's always this. I mean, I spent a lot of time with him on the tours in the U.S. So, but
Yeah.
he was he seems. I don't know. He was on one. Is what I should say.
Well,
but
he is a character.
But he goes hard.
Yeah.
No matter what he does.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
So I'm glad he's there. Thanks, Guy,
Yeah.
for existing. Hopefully, I could get him to come visit one day. I don't know what he's doing. I think he owns land in California, so maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a
so
long
he's
time.
really gonna start his cult finally.
No, I don't know. He bought a piece of land a long time ago,
Damn.
like somewhere in the
You
where
better
those-
watch out.
where
man.
those like people the slab villages are.
I don't know, man. You're gonna see some Bunker Records death cult out there, man. Watch out.
I think. I don't know.
It's fucking the UFOs are gonna fucking come down and grab him up.
So you found out about Bunker Records and around early 2000s.
Yeah, again, like probably 5 years too late, but that was it, you know.
Yeah, and that kind of opens the world to like all kinds of
Then
stuff.
you're just in it, dude.
Yeah.
Then you're just like, what's next, you know?
And so you weren't aware of stuff like Gigolo or stuff.
No,
like
I
that
was,
before
of
that.
course. I had the Gigolo stuff, yeah.
So you had like a little bit of Miss Kitten and the Hacker.
Definitely
and
had
some,
Miss Kitten the Hacker, Sunglasses at Night.
Yeah, Tiga and Zentherius.
And then there was like a weird Jeff Mills. Jeff Mills even has a Gigolo. And
Does he?
Yeah. I think it's Shifty Disco it's called or something.
Is that him?
I think so. There's definitely a Mills Gigolo. I remember it being pretty damn good, too.
So that's a weird time. I mean, so that's you're in your early 20s, just out of college,
something like
moving
that.
to New York, so.
But working a day job too. This DJing thing was never.
You just kind of did it to get free drinks, or
Not even. I just. You
didn't even get free drinks. You
yeah.
still had to you didn't even
get abuse.
You had to like fight to get your $13.
Playing like terrible play, like this place Swim. But a shout out to them. They actually paid pretty good. There was like this
Where was Swim?
on Orchard, I think. Me and Pete did like a week or a monthly there, man. But they were really cool. They were really, really cool.
I forgot about it. There's a lot of places.
There was so many places, man. Like just these bars, man. We just did so many freaking bars.
All right, so
I would never want to hear those DJ sets. Oh God. Woo.
well, I mean, you played like, but I mean that.
We play like ESG and then like a Trax record and then like a freaking soul jazz dub compilation and then like.
The Strokes.
No, I don't know about that. That's now you're pushing it here. Then like maybe Shannon, Give Me the Night, and then like some fucking hip hop song.
Some Nucleus.
Sure, Nucleus or Wu-Tang Clan, and I don't know. It was
that's
a free for all.
But that's what's weird too, is because like that's what Electroclash was or is or started as, was that you could just play whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it always started to me it shouldn't be a bad thing, but the problem is that it was so close to what we liked that it became, they started playing these like.
Well, like anything else here, there was just a bunch of, there was like the cool stuff, and then there was a bunch of corny imitators afterwards.
Yeah.
And like, as usual, it's the corny imitators that, that are the ones who succeed, and the cool stuff kind of gets pushed aside or whatever.
So that it fizzled pretty quickly though.
It did though.
With
That
like
went
2002 or 3 it was done.
Yeah, that was gone.
And then what happened? Then it was like kind of a weird dark time. Like
Then,
everything went out
I
of
just
business.
remember disco edits, a lot of disco edits, minimal, like really bland stuff. It was
Tribeca Grand parties.
Tribeca Grand parties, which were fun.
And like a happy ending? Or was that was later, I guess?
No, Happy Endings around 2003, right?
I have no idea. Then like
but I mean, it depends. It also
free
depends who you.
pizza at the bar.
Oh,
Free pizza with
Capone's.
every bar, every beer.
Capone's, but that was like where like that was very academic, nerdy DJing there. That was like
Todd Terrier's first New York gig.
right, like at that pizza place.
You get a free pizza with every beer.
Weird. That was
that 2007 or 8 or?
No. That's got to be even before that, I think.
I have no idea.
5.
So it's like disco edits and into the.
A lot of disco edits.
So what you were at that point? You had a day job. What was your day job?
At that point in 2006, I
Yeah.
was working on television, driving a truck, doing props, PA. I worked on Freelancer.
So you weren't in the union or whatever.
No, I thought on one job they were gonna walk me into the union, but it didn't happen. Like you can get walked in, and
So
then
you
you don't
got-
have to, and then you don't have to take the test.
So you have a tough relationship with unions.
No, I don't care about it.
First the elevators, and now this.
Well, no, those were my people, the elevator people. I mean,
They were looking out for you by not letting you.
Yeah. They were trying to do the right thing. But the television stuff I always thought was cool because it's like, oh, cool, I can work for 2 weeks and I'm off for like a week. I mean, normal people would just try to get as many jobs as possible, but it's like, oh, can I make rent and then have 2 weeks off? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So, but I worked on Saturday Night Live for a while. I did a bunch of crap for MTV. Again, it was just a friend of mine just brought me on. He's like, you don't have work, come do this, and you just figure it out as you go on.
Yeah.
Go along.
When did that? What I don't understand is like, maybe it's still like that in New York, but I feel like it's always been one of those cities like if you wanted work, you could get it.
I kind of always thought that too.
And now it doesn't quite feel the same anymore.
I don't know. I couldn't. I mean, I haven't.
Or I guess you can get work, but it's not gonna pay enough for you to live here.
I think as the years went by, the film industry and television's gotten bigger in New York.
Yeah,
actually,
that's really like the one that's.
I think you could always. I mean, if you got a friend who's in it and you need to start working.
Or
I think,
art handling also.
Yeah, that's a little too complex because if like you break something, it's like some $500,000 piece. I don't want
Yeah,
to.
but don't you have insurance?
Yeah, but no one wants the insurance. You know what I mean? I don't want to be responsible.
But the new one, I mean, the one I see now is this it's like a rental, equipment rental, stereo sound system rentals. That seems to be the one that exists now.
Well,
like that's
however you got to make your money, do it.
Yeah. So I don't know. So you did this for a while. I mean, you kind of cruised along and through these
just like
trends, DJing, going out.
Yeah.
Girlfriends, boyfriends, record stores, shitty jobs, apartments.
Many apartments, awful.
Lots of restaurants.
Yeah.
M Shanghai.
The basement of M Shanghai, some legendary parties in there.
Pork Chop.
Respect to Pork Chop. Pork Chop's another one, man. He's like huge inspiration. One of the only New York City DJs with some real flavor, colorful, amazing. I mean, just this is a true original. This is a huge inspiration for me and the label as well. I mean, he's one of the unsung heroes of all of this for us, I think, in New York.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I like his wife too.
She's
also
they're very sweet
nice.
people. Yeah.
So this went on, and then at some point, you started a record label.
Yeah.
So what is that?
2010. So
10.
now we're coming up 10 years is this year.
So what happened? Like you were doing this, you were dissatisfied with your existence, or what happened?
Well, there was a couple things at once that kind of led to it. I originally had done 2 record labels, one in the mid to late 90s for like my punk band, whatever, just putting out like 3 records, and then like whatever, that just went away. And then later on in 99 or 2000, I actually put out a record for like one of these New York City, like underground backpack hip hop acts. This guy Tess, and he was kind of close to these. Some people will know this, some people won't. This stuff like Company Flow and Cannibal Ox is like this backpack, like avant-garde, scientifical space hip hop. You know,
Scientifical.
yeah, very scientifical.
Is that
you
a
know,
word?
Yeah. So I did 2 records for him, which subsequently got him signed to Warp's hip hop sub label called Lex, and I was almost a little bit of his manager, but like not really. And he had a decent career for a couple years, and then kind of that whole world just imploded on itself. So then I had that was 99 2000.
So it's like post DJ Spooky or something kind of meets
I don't know. It's like
Souls of Mischief.
Anti-Pop Consortium,
okay.
like you know, like
That's East Coast stuff.
yeah, from Manhattan, Anti-Pop Consortium. But it's like, you know, it's avant-garde, scientifical. You know, it's not thug stuff. It's not like street. It's not street rap.
Yeah.
You know, it might be from the streets, but it's not street. It's like, you know, you don't know what the hell they're talking about.
It's like a college guy that does spray painting.
Well, not that simple, but maybe some of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So I did that, and then whatever, just DJing on my own. Maybe dabbling in a
East Village Radio was going on.
I did something at East Village Radio with my friend Pete for a couple of years, 2 years, maybe 3 years. I don't even remember.
What was the name of that again?
Oh, Jesus, I forgot. No Flash Radio.
No Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, just kicking around the DJ scene, just being like a local DJ, but that's not my job. It's something I do as a creative outlet that I enjoyed doing. I was never saying, I'm going to become a working DJ. I want to be, it's just, I love digging records.
But the thing is we used to go out every single night.
Yeah.
You would go to like
as much as you could.
1 or 2 places every night.
As much as you could, yeah. As work and time and money would allow you to. Some of us more than others. And then, so I was just DJing. Eventually, like 2009, maybe start buying some gear. I guess we were living together around that time for like a year or 6 months. And
no homo.
Yeah. Wasn't like that.
It's been a while since you could do that joke.
Yeah. You better watch out. You're gonna get canceled.
It's okay.
That's all right. Then basically I was working at some like back end clothing warehouse, running this warehouse and the back end website for these people. It was like nightmare. I got them to give me unemployment after working for them for like 3 years, and then I started working at A1 Records. So that's like 2009. So I actually had money for the first time in like a long time. I was always kind of broke, just getting by. So I had like this unemployment check coming, plus working at the record shop, which is like cash in hand. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I got a little extra money. I think maybe I'm going to just start this label now, because I had been on tour. I'd been on tour a couple years before with Manhunter, which is Ari from Swimmers, and Jason, Steve Summers. I'd been on tour with them, and Nova Man, which is DJ Overdose, Mr. Pauly. And Jason at that time had played me like this Filter House record. I just thought it was like the most genius thing ever. It was like a amazing Daft Punk style ripoff. I'm like, dude, I said to him, if I ever do a label again, that's going to be the first record I put out. And I actually kept my word on it. We did do that record as Lies 001, which is Malvo. And I mean, we've never done anything that sounded like that ever again. But I think that's kind of amazing that set the tone for everything else on the label.
That you kept your word.
What's that?
That you kept your word.
Well, no, beyond keeping my word was that it's just that kind of record. We've never put out anything similar to that ever again. And it just, I think
I don't know anybody that makes that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's just I mean, it's so, and of course, 2010, it was so out of context for the time. No one, who would want to buy that record? You know what I mean? It's just so
Yeah, it was a weird
but
one.
but it worked. You know,
Yeah.
somehow it did work, and to be able to do something which is that, you know, free form, and you're doing exactly what you want to do. I think that just really
Sorry to interrupt.
no.
But at the 2010, like it's kind of a weird time. Like what else is going on? Like what other American labels are there?
Future Times had just started maybe a year before.
And then what's in Europe? Like what's going on over there? Is like Full Pup? Is that is that like
I don't-
Lindstrom time, or is that
I think that's over with at that point.
what was? Was Northern Monkey going on yet, or?
Yeah, Know Your Monkey was here. Phil had Golf Channel, but
Like what else was going on at that?
overseas, I don't really remember, to be honest.
I don't remember either. It's like
I mean, Omar S was huge at the time, 2010 for sure. Over here,
yeah.
we were buying every goddamn one for sure. I mean, he was just even. Before that too. Those were the really sick ones. In Europe, I don't really. I kind of can't remember.
See, that's like a weird time for Europe too.
I think
There's all these labels.
I
but
think throwback like house music was probably getting kind of big then.
Yeah. I have no idea.
That's what I think, if memory serves right.
um
Kind of like fake Chicago house.
kind of like beginning of Red Bull lectures.
No, but those were going on for a really long time.
Were they?
Yeah, like way before
The
2010.
like Morgan Geist one or something.
Those are like way. I mean, I think they were doing that 2005, even before.
I'm just trying to remember what else was going on at that time, because I mean I definitely was going when I would go to Europe around that time. You would play at like the fashion party in Berlin, you know, like with Hugo or whatever,
Right.
Or like
Soju bar.
yeah. Even before that, it was like Rio,
Okay, yeah, I never played there.
and then what else was going on? Salon de Amateur was going
Yeah,
on for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Which means that I can't before this is Taco was still around, but he was in Rotterdam.
Right.
So like Clone was still there.
I mean, Clone was there. The Rush Hour didn't really
Rush Hour,
blow up. But this is when I think around 2010,
Creme.
Christian started doing around this time all the really cool Chicago reissues, and then like he did all the Gene Hunt unreleased.
Christian McDonald from Rush
Yeah.
Hour.
Who's not, he hasn't been there now in years, but Christian was like kind of, I had met him in Detroit at Scott Zacharias' house around this time.
At the DMF where you cried.
Yeah, I didn't cry, man. Jesus Christ. I did get drunk.
I don't know what year that was.
Yeah, but I don't, that was a fun one. Jesus, that was actually really reckless. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. Jesus Christ.
What year was that?
That wasn't 2010. That was like
Before that.
11 or 12.
Oh,
I
it was?
think. Yeah.
I can't remember anything.
Um,
I'm just trying to put it all in perspective.
maybe it was 11.
But I mean, at that point,
But
Rush Hour wasn't a thing. It's like the only people we knew that
I mean,
fucked
it
with
was
Rush Hour was down low. You know,
it was, well, that's kind of how we got hooked up with Rush Hour, because JT was always said Rush Hour doesn't fuck around. These are good guys to work with. So and then the Future Times guys had also been working with them. So then when I took the label over to them, and they were just like, yeah, we want to do it. It was like no questions asked. We did it. And like, it just like, and then like, I was like, here's the plan. I was like, this is how I want to do it. This is how I want to keep it going. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And it worked.
So you entered into a pretty strong partnership with Rush Hour.
Well, there was never a financial partnership. Everything was always out of my own pocket, except like for maybe 2 years where I did a P&D, when I was like in transition, yeah, moving, where like I had to figure some stuff out. But from all the years, and even now, it's out of my own pocket. But I was like, I had an idea, and I was just like, listen, yeah, if you can always pay me, on time, then we can just keep this thing like, I'll keep this thing like moving like hardcore. And they were extremely supportive and really and their distribution network was great. And I think at that time also just, Mark, I can't stress enough how Mark Kremens, is a really big part of why the records go where they go. He works his ass off for
He's
us.
like the puppet master.
I mean, Mark, is a understated guy behind the scenes, but he works his ass off for us, and I must say, thank you to him for that for all the years as well.
DJ Piss Flaps.
Oh Jesus, that's the most brutal DJ name ever, dude.
He probably chose. He should have had. I guess he was single at the time.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have a woman to
put that on the marquee of a nightclub. See,
put that on your tombstone.
Jesus. Oh God.
Yeah, he'll
sorry.
like that. Hello, Mark.
Sorry, Mark. But working with them was instrumental in the records getting, because I also knew that with the label it wasn't going to be this, that was always, and to this day it was always, the goal is not one thing. This is not going to be a one-dimensional thing. If I want to do a guitar record with a drum machine, I want to do it in, I want it to go to correct places. And Mark, has a wide knowledge and scope and network of people who could take those records. If I was going with Hard Wax and I give him some strange, indie rocks,
nobody's buying that.
No one's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
But Mark knows where to take it to, and it's kind of like the perfect fit to be able to work alongside them.
So around 2010, you had some extra money, and your friend, you told them you wanted to put this out, and you put out the record.
Right.
And then somehow you, through other friends that you knew, you got in touch with Rush Hour, and your label started.
Right.
Long Island
Right.
Electrical Systems.
Exactly.
And you got some. There was a local guy pressing the records.
At first, yeah.
Shout out to Will Sokolov.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him on here too. He said he would do it. I just haven't followed up.
Respect to Will Sokolov, the OG.
Yeah, even though he does. Sometimes he does a terrible job, but it's fine.
He's trying. It's never intentional. Let's say that.
You want your record to be flat. Sometimes it's a bowl.
Yeah. I wasn't there in the '80s, so I can't say what happened in the '80s, man.
Yeah, no, but he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Like him still.
Respect to Will.
And Will Sokolov, that's who we're talking about.
Sleeping Bag Records.
I'm gonna try to get him. He did a radio show with me, but I gotta follow up with a video chat. I think he's been doing his spin classes.
All right.
I hope. Last time I saw him,
you better watch out. Todd Terry's not looking for him.
No, I texted with him for a little while, like a couple months ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then,
that's cool.
Or like I texted him and he like wasn't responding, and I was like, "Oh man, what did I do?" And then like 3 weeks later, he's like, "Oh, I just checked my old phone. I got a new number." He's like, "I missed your text. Like of course I'll do it."
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's good.
And then I just haven't.
Right on.
I don't know. I just got along with him.
He's a good. No, I love. I mean, that's a true New York character. I mean, nothing but respect for him, man. To be able to work with him was really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, his father was Dave Mancuso's lawyer.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, crazy.
How about that?
And that's why he was at the Loft.
Interesting.
He was like a teenager, like 13, 14-year-old kid.
See, there you go. You got to get him on to tell these stories.
His dad would like get the permits so they could have their rent parties.
Interesting.
And then he met Arthur Russell and. I also think the other thing I learned recently too, that's another good weird, you'll appreciate this, is that Robin KG, Kid Ginseng,
yeah,
he grew up as a neighbor to Arthur Russell when he was a little kid. He like lived next door.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so I was trying to
in Manhattan.
I don't know. I didn't get
Connecticut.
I didn't get a full answer, but the kind of answer I wanted. But that was part of it. He said he remembers him from when he was a little kid.
Interesting. Yeah, we were hanging out with Robin in Paris this summer, actually.
Yeah, he said he told me that his father would do it too.
Oh yeah, that would be very cool for sure.
But his book just came out. I just saw the advertisement for it. Chris Franz's book. I saw the advertisement for it. He said he would do it. Then I got some stuff I got to take care of, and then I'll
sure, you got to do that.
Then I'm gonna go hard on it.
That'll be a classic one.
Got to go hard on it.
Definitely.
Soon. So your label starts, and then you I don't know, somehow you were working at A1.
Yeah.
Which was a fantastic opportunity, I guess, because working, I mean, he's also my boss.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're not spilling the beans anymore. I guess is that the same man, Isaac Cosman. Isaac said he would do it too. He said he would come on. That
would be cool.
He owns A1, and he also owns the Thing. So we had the same boss for a while. I remember
Yeah.
when you got your job at A1, he asked me, he's like, "This guy Ron Morelli, is he all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's fine."
Yeah.
And then you started working there, and so you got to work for Isaac, which is he's a great boss. You know, he's a
I mean, he's a hustler, man. He don't stop. You know,
yeah,
he does.
He works harder than any of us.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a man who knows how to get things.
yeah, cheap things.
Cheap things and sell them for a lot of money.
The worst records, you know, he gets the records that nobody wants, and somehow they become records that
Well,
people want.
Yeah, I mean, he's made his livelihood from this.
So you work at A1, which is a record store. Anybody comes to New York City, if you have one record store you can visit,
I mean, that's the one.
I would go to A1.
I mean,
Even though I work at a different one, it's just it's a good record store.
It's the best dollar bins I think I've probably ever hit in my life,
Yeah,
especially in the early 2000s. Jesus.
yeah, because it was a weird place to. I mean, was known. I always thought of it as a hip hop store. I'd go in there and I'd feel like.
Well, it kind of was.
And so, like, you could go in there and you could get. They didn't want the new wave records. They didn't want the.
No, I think until Toshio Kajiwara came in there, then he kind of was like, "Yo, you need to start hanging on to the weirdo stuff and the house stuff."
Yeah,
and
industrial records.
Yeah, he was like, you know, all the French guys, they knew the boogie, they knew all the breaks. You know, they were also, you know, if you went in there back then, they were intimidating. There was Aldo Rosati, who looks like, you know, like a French Marseille,
with like a $50,000 watch on.
Yeah, and like a black turtleneck with a gold chain and like smoking cigarettes behind the desk, you know, like, and then, you know, it was basically everyone was speaking French there because all the guys working were French, with the exception of like maybe two guys like Eric Duncan and like Toshio, and like whoever else was decided to come to work that day, because it was definitely at that point I think quite a revolving cast of characters, yeah, but those guys at that point, they were not interested in the Italo, the house, the techno, the avant-garde weirdo stuff. Just like, does it have a break? Can a hip-hop guy sample it? Okay, let's put it on the wall for $500 and it'll be gone. And it was.
Yeah.
This is before the internet also.
Well, we had the internet, but it wasn't.
It was the slow. I mean,
slow.
eBay was just happening.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you could do. Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And Discogs wasn't there.
It wasn't there yet.
So you start working.
So I started working there, but this is way after those guys are gone, man. Now.
Yeah.
This is like.
What they do? Start their own store?
No, they didn't. I think a couple were deported.
What happened to what's his name?
Aldo. I heard he's a limousine driver in Paris. But I mean, the guy looks great, dude. I mean, this guy is truly, that's a true character.
But he was like into bootlegging too,
Oh,
now we're just spreading rumors.
Well, you know, I'm not gonna blow up anyone's spot about that kind of stuff. Let the mystique, lay there.
Do you think he was working with Sokolov?
Yeah, probably. Everyone gets some money.
Yeah, I guess so. The other one, another one of my New York stories. I remember around this time, the Italo was big or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Charlie
Vinyl Mania.
Yeah, Grappone or
Charlie Grappone. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going in there one day, and I was still pretty naive in my 20s, still, I guess. And I was like, "How do you get away with selling all these bootlegs?" and he like looks at me and he goes, "What's a bootleg?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, I get it."
Yeah. Learn the hard way.
So that was a moment for me. I was
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Yeah, I learned not to ask questions pretty quickly at record shops. Yeah. Don't ask questions. Figure it out on your own. Don't.
Now at work, if somebody asks me a question and I don't want to answer it, I just turn around and walk off.
Yeah, I mean, great.
I used to say, like, I don't feel like answering your question right now, or like something like, I don't know. It's just so weird. People ask them. They come in, like, it's weird if somebody walks into the shop and they're like, "Is this your shop?"
Well,
I'm always like, it's a little personal, like, how does this place work? Where do you get all the records?
Yeah, it's none of your business.
Yeah, it's like like you either say like,
it's like, what's your mom's name? You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know, like, this way.
Yeah, we're gonna have to open this other bottle in a second.
No, I touched it with my foot.
Right. See, I kept my foot away. I followed the rules.
My foot are longer.
Yeah.
I'll open the other bottle. So, A1, it's a good place. So that's what we were saying.
Yeah, it's
E6 between first and A.
Yeah.
That's where it gets its name. A1 between first and A.
Yeah. Right next to the park, so there's definitely some crackheads who stroll in now and again.
Yeah, they probably bring good records every now and then.
Not anymore, I don't think. We had this one guy. Here's a quick, funny A1 story. There was this guy.
Solo flicks.
No, not solo flex. This is just some neighborhood guy, He come in, at first he came in with some, like, pretty good records. And, it's clear he was a junkie, living in the neighborhood probably for 40 years or whatever. He's, I gotta trade in these records. I need some money. I gotta buy food for my cat. So then he'd come in again the next day. Same story. I gotta sell these records. I gotta food. I mean, man, you gotta have a big hungry cat, dude. It was, but the records progressively got worse and worse.
Yeah.
At first it was like cool Sun Ra, whatever, jazz stuff. Then it was just like, George Thorogood and the Destroyers by the end. It was like, no, man.
Tough enough.
Yeah. I miss those kind of people, though, these characters.
Yeah.
There's not enough of that.
I mean, we had that one. I don't know if did he ever go to A1, but there's the guy that he hadn't come for 3 years, but he showed up last weekend. There's the guy from Montreal. It's like he's kind of like a light-skinned black guy, and he's pretty tall, but he wears like a full hazmat suit with a fucking respirator.
I don't know this guy.
And our theory is that he smells so bad that he wears it to keep the smell in.
That's interesting.
But he comes in, and everybody that comes in gets freaked out because they're like, this dude's fucked up. Like,
right.
Is there something wrong with this place? He's wearing a hazmat suit.
You could catch something in the thing. I would say so.
But, it's not a good look, But this guy comes and he stays from open to close for like 5 days, and he'll buy like 4 boxes of records.
Well, I mean, respect to him. He's digging.
He's still around, but he's kind of.
I don't remember this guy, to be honest.
I think he just goes to the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain, that there's certain guys that are strictly thing guys, and there's certain guys that are strictly A1 guys.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of crossover, but
for sure.
Not much, really.
No.
Not much.
No.
But
I mean, Soloflex was a crossover. This guy's.
I wonder what happened to him.
I don't know. I asked Jeremy. He said he had not seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I got a lot of audio of him though. I got that sitting around. I got to do something with. Great stuff, actually.
He just put out an acapella record.
You know what? And I also have audio of Stinky Steve. He called up, saying some crazy stuff. I was quick on the draw, and I got my phone out, and I got him. He was doing a whole rant about this Connecticut school shooting. So this was back when that happened, however many years now.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah. So he had this. I mean, I have this on tape, dude. I think Seth, who also works at A1, he's like, dude, can you just do like a one-sided record of all that stuff? And
Sokolov is pressing again.
Yeah, I think just for us to have it, I would have it as an archive.
You can do those with Dietrich now has those.
Yeah, I heard about
100
that.
copies things.
I heard about that. But these are true characters. I mean, Stinky Steve, anyone who's been in the record world, knows who he is. If you don't know who he is, well,
I don't know who he is.
Wow, dude.
He's the guy that smells at the record fair?
This guy smells, yeah. He's also like he's also on the sex offender list. He's not allowed to be, he lives in his car out in Pennsylvania. He's a real
what's he doing with records? Selling them.
That's his thing, man. He's a record dealer, man.
So he doesn't listen to him.
He's a record dealer, man.
He's got
the guy's also like an idiot savant. I mean, this diatribe he was going on the telephone with is a genius. I mean,
I'm curious.
It's the mind of a madman for sure.
Is he on Facebook?
I don't think so. I mean, this guy's on the sex offender list, man. Go check that out.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's got a smartphone now,
Check it out, man. This guy's.
If he's interested in Sandy Hook, he's got to be in some Facebook.
I mean, the guy's nuts, man. awesome, amazing characters you would meet at these places. That's what this city misses.
Yeah.
It's going to hell.
They're still around.
There's some freaks for sure. I know that.
They're still around,
but it's less and less.
There's not as. I mean, I went to A1 the other day and it was like rammed. I was like, I don't even want to be in.
I mean, the places just got. I think after I left, it got even crazier. I mean, thank God I couldn't deal with it. I don't think.
But your boy Jeremy is holding it down on the weekends.
He's always he's the king of the weekends there, man.
He loves it.
This man loves to sell a disco record. This guy could sell a disco record till his death, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the best at it.
Yeah.
One of the best at it.
No. They were too much jazz funk in there for me.
Well, to each his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man? I feel the jazz funk.
They got the.
You know, like Atmosphere.
Yeah, that's fine.
Freeze.
That's fine too, but that's not what I'm talking about.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like John Clemmer or something.
All right. I don't even know what that is.
Like, I don't know, or like Spyro Gyra.
Okay, well, that's like Prague.
It's just terrible.
No.
And the other day, somebody bought a Manhattan Transfer record at the thing.
Respect.
I'd never seen that before.
Respect to
Have
Manhattan
you ever
Transfer.
seen anybody buy a Manhattan Transfer record?
I've never, not personally, but
It's one of those records you see all the time, but no one ever buys it.
who knows? Maybe some Japanese are gonna start coming in and buying up all your Manhattan
No,
Transfer.
the thing I noticed, you probably been gone long enough to not see it, is that before, you would always picture your digger as like a Japanese person or maybe like a German guy buying hip hop.
Yeah, definitely. The Germans love the hip hop.
We had these like stereotypes, and it's changed now. Now the only diggers that you see that buy serious quantities, they're from Colombia
Brazil.
and Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, but Brazil, the Brazilians always came to A1, man.
The Brazilians only buy freestyle.
Yeah, exactly. The Brazilians would always come to A1, and man, there were certain guys. Oh my God, there was this one dude. He was a nightmare. He'd only come for Kiss records. It was crazy.
Yeah, Kiss sucks.
I kind of like Kiss, man.
I only like I Was Made for Loving You, and maybe that New York City.
I mean, as human beings, they're scum. That's for sure. But the music is kind of kind of amazing.
There's a certain kind of man baby that likes Kiss.
And they all live in their parents' basement in New Jersey.
And I think that's the people from Long Island you were talking about.
I mean, from Long Island, for damn sure, Kiss will sell out like a week straight at Nassau Coliseum. But Jersey is right up there with it. I'm sure they'll sell out the Meadowlands and MSG too. I mean, Gene Simmons, that guy is like, that guy is something wrong with that motherfucker.
He's too rich.
He's I don't know, man. But I don't know. The music I kind of like. It's just really scummy stuff.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So record store was fun.
Great times. Miss them.
And what I see, it was always like, this was one thing that I saw that you did really well, is that you used it as an outlet to get records in people's hands.
Always.
Be it records from the store or records from your label or your friend's label or whatever. Like, people would come there, and you were able to give people records from your label.
Yeah.
And I think that was important.
Undoubtedly, yeah. I mean,
because every DJ that comes, as we said, will go through there, and so you like, give them the new.
Yeah, just give it to them. I'll be
release.
like, hey, this is some stuff coming out from New York. Check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool because that's an old school way of doing it too.
And whether or not they like it or not,
No,
they're still going to put it in someone else's hands or sell
give
it
it
at
away
the store.
or get rid of it. It's fine,
It's distribution.
Yeah, I think I like. I mean, the hand-to-hand thing is something that doesn't happen so much.
And so, I don't know. It went on like this for several years. You worked in the store. You put out a record. People come by. They buy it. I mean, was there like a memorable change, or did something happen that marked a difference, or like where it like took off or went worse, or?
When it took off, I think, I mean there was initial Steve Summers records that people really liked. That was like really, I think those kind of like, he already had a name because he had done a Clone record, which we were all like, extremely impressed by, because we all looked up to what Serge had done with Clone, and he put out a lot of the Hey Guys stuff and had this amazing distribution company, and just, he had the connections with the Detroit guys, and also with some of the Chicago guys as well. And for Jason to do that was like, we were like, oh man, Jay really did it. So Jay was like the first one we really, we were like, oh damn man, this is super sick. So then I did Steve Summers. I did a Steve Summers record, and that had some traction because, again, Clone kind of opened up the door a little for him. And then after that, I think people really gravitated to the Tariq record as well. That kind of like, it was only a 2-tracker. These two kind of, I think it's only a 2-tracker, like 12-inch. That kind of,
it was like a new genre at that point.
Yeah, it was just, it was true, true bedroom production. That's all I can say about it. He was just, he just, all of our stuff is bedroom productions. Everyone's doing it in like
Yeah.
a small room. No one had access to real studios, real record, and everyone recorded different. Everyone, some better than others. Some had more high tech.
I remember the what's the guy from Nyack or whatever?
Steve Moore.
The Steve Moore one was pretty.
Yeah, that also had a lot of.
Like gave it a little more credibility.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. Yeah,
that was serious.
Yeah, because then some bigger DJs played that too. Like Marcel Detman, I remember played that, and a couple other bigger guys. So that kind of also
it give you a broader audience.
Yeah, just I mean, that's the job of a DJ, right? Is to play new, interesting music. So it kind of helped get us exposure. I mean, through some of these DJs playing the records. But people always ask me about the Steve Summers stuff. Always like, oh, I got that orange. They would say the orange one. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And then the Tariq stuff, and then of course, it was the real big one was the Delroy record, the Delroy Edwards record. That was the one that really kind of just cracked the fucking.
Wasn't Florian before that or no?
I don't remember.
The Florian Kufra one was big.
That was a big one too. Yeah, Florian's was also big
because it was like number something 1, 2, or 3 or.
It was a white label one, but I think Delroy's could have been first. But that one, that one really resonated. He nailed it. He got the sound he wanted to. I mean, when he gave me those tracks, I was like, did you really make these? They sounded like they were from 1994 or 5 or something like that. I mean, he's an amazing musician, as we've seen.
But he was working at A1 at that
He was
point?
working at A1, so like he was a customer there, and basically we hate everyone that comes into the store.
Yeah.
And he was really a nice young kid, and he had really good taste in music, and he would talk to us. And it was at the time where I started traveling quite a bit, so I said, "You want to come in, and fill in when I'm on the road. You just got to get here on time, open the shop. That's it." So he came in, we hired him, and then like I was constantly putting records in his hand too. I was like, this, check this out. This, check this out. All the house stuff, and that kind of like, I think helped widen his horizon and contribute to what ended up being like pretty strong influences on him. He was, absolutely amazing musician.
So what now? This is like 10 releases deep, or how?
I think Delroy is like 15.
15.
Yeah.
But you were doing a couple a month at that point.
Yeah. This is by the time I'm doing his stuff, it's rolling like really hardcore now. Because the first year or two, there were all these pressing problems. So, like, the first year or two, there was, like, 1 release. And then the second year, there might have been 3. And then the third year was, I think, like, 10 or something like that. And then I just,
Then you started going for it.
Yeah, I was just, like, I'm digging my heels in. I'm digging, like, deep into this thing. And I'm, like, because I know how, I already knew how it was going to go. It was inevitable that people were going to be into it. And then just cast it aside, because that's how it goes. And I think at this point now is when you start to see more of, which is weird to say, but you start seeing more like the internet actually becoming some sort of factor in music, where it wasn't so much before that. With like
it's like MySpace to Facebook to Instagram.
Yeah, well, the Instagram not yet even.
But it's like the switch from MySpace to Facebook.
Yeah, and it's just really weird the kind of effect that had on music, whether how it makes stuff move faster and also makes stuff more disposable, because it's just people want more, people want the new thing, people want next. They're, I've always said this, it's like the way music moves now, it just goes where and if you stop, you're forgotten about. I have no doubt in my mind if I stop the label tomorrow, it's forgotten and no one's missing it. Like that's just it. But like say in the 80s, when Public Enemy would put out an album and then it would be 3 years between albums for their next one, you wouldn't you wouldn't just forget about Public Enemy.
Yeah.
You'd be waiting. You said, when's the new Public Enemy coming out? When's the new NWA record coming out? You wouldn't just say, forget it, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's just like nothing has any staying power. And I don't think anyone really cares either. That's the other thing, too. It's not, like, I don't know. I think when we were growing up, there was allegiances to if you were into something, you were, you know, whatever. Even if you were into Black Sabbath, you want the next Black Sabbath. You weren't just you weren't gonna, and then when Dio came on, you were upset, you know, or whatever. Or maybe you loved it. Some people loved Dio Sabbath, but.
They accepted him.
Yeah. But I think these days there's no one is, you know, really committed to being extreme fanatic about something anymore. I mean, me, I'm still like that. I'm like, there's a new Bunker. Oh, I have to check it out. I might not always dig it, but I always want to check it out. Oh, there's a new Vulex. I have to check it out. You know, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I think that's a rare occasion these days.
I think that I don't know. I can't say.
Yeah.
I don't have enough friends that are super young to where I can say for sure.
I can't say it either. Just to me, it just doesn't seem like it. But again, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's all right. So where can we go from here? So you have a label, and somehow it becomes successful enough to where you can start traveling.
Yeah.
As a DJ that has this label.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you go to Europe a couple times, I guess, or.
Yeah, kind of a lot. Like sometimes, yeah. Like I just started doing these kind of long tours. Every time was like longer and longer. First I'd go for like 10 days. Next time like a month. Next time 2 months. You know, then I would, you know, how long can I stay here without getting in trouble? You know.
Yeah.
So I was booking everything on my own and I was also booking. That was another thing. I was booking all the guys on the label. I booked Svengali's Ghost. I was booking Steve Summers, and I guess it was only us three going at that time.
Yeah.
I wasn't booking Delroy, and then eventually I got a book. Like eventually it became too much to do that, and I ended up getting like a booking agent, and like, you know, to handle all that kind of stuff. It's kind of trial by fire, you know. But for me, booking it was like, I was like, I could do this. I used to book my punk band where you'd have to book a tour by sending letters and making phone calls.
Yeah.
It was nuts. I mean, I didn't have a fax machine, so you'd send letters. You'd find out from somebody else who was in another band. Yeah, these guys in South Dakota are cool. Here's their phone number. Send them, you know. I mean, there was a couple times you'd show up to the gig, and there was no gig, you know.
Yeah.
But so I was like, if I could do that, I could
play at somebody's house.
Yeah. So I was like, if I could do that, I could book these European gigs like no problem.
It was. I mean, because even as it's not really that long ago, you know, and then the system was in place for a certain caliber of DJ, but it wasn't like, you know, these like €300 gigs. These people have agents now.
Yeah.
Like you're getting $600 and you have a booking agent.
Yeah, it's not worth
and
it
a
for
writer.
It's not worth it for anyone for $600. I mean, what's the percentage the agent gets out of that? €50 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Not even, maybe.
But so it was just there wasn't the like this is, I mean, because we're low level, you know, like people, you know.
Yeah, we're no big shots here. That's for damn sure.
And it didn't quite exist yet, you know that.
Yeah. think about it. Even Danny and Ferenc never had agents until Octopus started.
Yeah, like Dion started Octopus for Clone.
Yeah, exactly. So what was this, 2008 or 9, around that?
I don't remember. I mean, the time I remember meeting Dion, he came with Alden Tyrell.
Yeah, I was there because we all hung out on the
TLR.
We all hung out at the rooftop of your studio.
Sean O'Sullivan too, I guess, or maybe on my studio also.
Yeah, we were upstairs on the roof.
Yeah, and so that was when on the Pencil Factory. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember that Dion started Octopus, and he was just basically Serge's booking agent.
I think Serge was here too, maybe.
Yeah,
even.
Serge was with him.
Yeah.
I can't remember actually. I don't. That was a different time then, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he picked up, I guess, Lego Welt and maybe IF Alden Tyrell. They kind of like came and went.
Yeah.
In and out of. They get mad at each other for whatever reasons. I guess that probably still goes on. But that was, I don't know what year that was either.
Around 2008, I think, or 9.
So a little bit before all this stuff happened,
Yeah.
the Europeans got a little more serious with their low level bookings.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. So you got a booking agent and
Yeah, but that wasn't until 2000, I think, 13. So it's like 3 years after the label starts.
so you were
So I was before that. I was just booking from 2010 to 13. I think I was booking it all on my own.
and so what kind of gigs were you playing at that point? Is this like kind of the same level as now, or what was the difference?
Well, 13 there was like a lot of big festivals and all that crap. And then yeah, like I don't know, nightclub gigs. 13 there was just like there was all this hype and all this, so you know these festivals want you to play and blah blah blah, and then they forget about you the next year and all that. It's just how it goes. And then but before that, yeah, it was like, you know, Panorama Bar, some, you know, I think we played together in London at some weird club or something, like some basement club, Fabric maybe.
So pretty decent gigs.
No, yeah, decent stuff.
Did we play together in London?
I think so, yeah. Or no, maybe you were just at the gig or something.
I don't remember.
Um,
I don't remember playing with you in Europe.
in Sweden, in Stockholm, we did an underground thing, like a warehouse thing. There were still a lot of warehouse things. We did Nizza in Barcelona. So yeah, like, I mean, yeah,
I
legitimate club gigs for sure.
I feel like a lot of people were like leftover Global Darkness affiliates.
From where?
Those gigs from those days, like even some of those the Stockholm people.
Well,
I
the
mean,
Stockholm
even though it
was
Samo,
was
but-
with Sam.
But I think
I think Cliff Lothar was like bands, man.
no, but not him, but the other people.
I don't remember the other Swedish Global Darkness people.
They're there. I think they were in the background, like, and I think they were the ones like the bookers for the clubs and stuff like that.
But I mean, it's also interesting to say at this point, Amsterdam wasn't even happening. You could barely get a gig there.
Yeah, you play at the Café Belgique or something.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You would play, yeah, exactly. Like now, there's like a million clubs there, and like it's probably the strongest club scene in all of Europe is in Amsterdam. But I guess like when they did the first Trow, that's kind of sparked it.
How long was Trow around for?
Apparently it was even around beforehand, but just people didn't really go, and then for whatever reason it had this
Started going.
thing. But I mean, I remember one point I played a Trow 4 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, it was just boom, 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 boom. And like I mean, yeah, one time I was in Amsterdam, literally 10 times in 1 year, which is just crazy to even think that.
Yeah, it's weird because like before and all before from.
I played it. I mean, we skipped Amsterdam one time in 2010, and we just played at Worm in Rotterdam.
Yeah, and nobody went.
Nobody. Danny told me Larry Heard played the week before to nobody. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had been doing weird little tours in Europe probably since 2002 or 3,
Right.
and I would never ever play in Amsterdam.
Right. There was
nothing.
The only thing that I guess you would be like, oh, I hope to play at like Paradiso, but that's like really big.
No, or Milkweg.
Milkweg, right?
But
Milkweg.
We would never play there. Milky Way is what it means.
That's the first. That's the first club I ever went to in Europe in 2001.
Jeez.
There was some drum and bass. Yeah, because I went to visit a friend who lived in Amsterdam, and I didn't know where the fuck we were going.
Yeah, I think I went to Nizza.
Yeah, that's
in Barcelona.
At least you didn't go to a drum and bass night. God Almighty! I was like, what the hell is this
I went
crap?
to Nizza to see IF and.
Well, that's a lot cooler.
I don't know.
Drum and bass. Whoa.
Yeah, I never liked that.
Nah,
Still don't.
It didn't.
They're trying to make it popular now. I don't quite get it.
It didn't transfer over the Atlantic very well over to New York.
Yeah, I think the UK had it pretty good because I like the energy was really high. I think it.
Yeah, I mean,
without the MCs and stuff.
The production on it's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's just not. Yeah, it
wasn't ever for me.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. You know, I mean, I'm sure
there's
crazy
some
tracks.
good ones, yeah.
There's. I mean, that's not even up for debate. There's definitely is. It's just
Yeah, Bill Converse gave me like the first. I don't know why he just gave me some records one time. He gave me like the first Photech record before he was Photech,
Okay.
and it's pretty cool. It
What-
sounds like some kind of like ninja music or something. I don't even know how to describe it. It's
Ninja
like
music.
no, or like it's like really like crafty kind of.
Okay.
I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but-
cool record.
Yeah, but there's the badass Photech record with Robert Owens on it, man. That's the one.
I
man.
saw that at the thing the other
Oh,
day.
Man, that's a crazy one, man.
I might have taken it.
Oh, you got to get that. That's
Oh.
like, you will love that, dude. It's like
I saw it. I think I put it on top and like didn't listen to it because I like was doing something else.
the production on that record is insane. It's like done in like, some $20 million studio. It sounds just like crushing,
I'll
dude.
come across it
Yeah,
again.
you got it. That record's super sick.
I'll find it.
It's
again.
it's not drum and bass. It's a house record.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lies is doing okay, and you're touring it.
Yeah.
And eventually you moved to Europe.
Yeah, that's right.
And so what year was that?
2013,
2013.
August. Yeah.
It's been that long.
It's been a long time, man.
Jesus. So that's 7 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. The label's like has been there most.
It's been there longer than it's been in New York.
Crazy enough, it has been. Yeah.
7 years. So it was 3 or 4 years here.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then 6 or 7 years over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
I know, man. Time flies, dude. It's been a blur, to be honest. I'm just like catching up on certain things.
Do you have more European artists now than Americans?
I don't think so. I still put out a lot of. I mean, I think it's extremely important to always put out people from New York and keep that regenerating here as much as I can.
Is that because you only speak English?
No. You haven't heard my French.
I've heard it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
'Cause I don't even think you're in the 4th grade yet.
No, definitely not. But hey,
Maybe like
you
a
know.
kindergartner.
possibly, possibly.
I think you can understand, okay.
Yeah,
but-
it's not
but
bad.
Speaking is a...
Yeah, I don't need to talk to these motherfuckers. Stay the hell away from me.
Damn.
Nah, that's not true. I love my Frenchies over there.
Damn.
But yeah, so no, I mean,
So you...
as much as I put out, we did this huge compilation of only U.S. artists this year called Eminent Domain. It's a 3 LP plus 45.
Lily gave me a copy. I haven't
cool.
haven't listened to it yet.
I mean, that's like, this is, after all these years of doing this and like trying to push, quite left field, inaccessible artists and having the outlet that we have with the label, it's just still quite interesting how many of these artists are just like, people are just, in Europe, they're just, blind to it, actually. It's just like when we do this Eminent Domain compilation, it's just, people always like, yeah, we want the real stuff. Well, here it is. And then like the Europeans like shy away from it or something like that. Like they just don't get it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a generalization, but obviously there are people who do get it. It's not to pigeonhole or make that generalization.
I mean, there's still a separation between
there is a big separation.
Club music and freaks.
There is a big separation still. Yes.
So I mean, in the U.S., it's pretty crossed over.
And not in Europe though.
In Europe, it's not.
It's not at all.
Like the people that listen to like, I don't know, whatever Soviet France or some shit, whatever. Like, they don't also listen to like Lobster Theremin or something, like.
Right.
But here they do,
Maybe so. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a weird comparison, but
Yeah, that was a weird comparison. I don't well, we went with it there.
you understood.
Yeah, I got you.
So I why do you think that is?
I don't really know. I'm not
But I guess dance music has been more mainstream in Europe for longer.
Well, sure, there's an infrastructure for it, and then when you bring something in that doesn't fit in with the infrastructure, it just turns everyone upside down, like you shot the Pope or something like that, or whatever. It's really, it's very much by the book, I think, a lot of the time. Not to say there are certain promoters and certain people out there who want to bring everything together, and it's like, yeah, we can have DJ Stingray next to what's someone from the U.S. that's crazy, Shane English, or Nick Klein or Cienfuegos or one of these guys, you know, and they won't bat an eye. They understand there is a connection between all of this stuff. But there's certain people who are just absolutely appalled to even want to, you know, bring this kind of thing together or make the parallel, because it is one. As far as I'm concerned, it's one and the same.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why someone like Guy with Bunker, again, to go back to them, they just take it all. You know,
Yeah.
they take it all and they smash it together, and it, you know, they don't see. I don't think there's ever been a line for Guy or those guys. You know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the line is, you know, like why there is a separation for some people.
Well, it's just it's what you make up in
But is
your
it like,
head.
is it like it's like some kind of social cues, or it's like a
No, some people always see dance music as just somebody DJing and someone making like electronic music productions on like a big, you know, big console at their studio or something like that, and that's what it is. It's whatever. Electronic music is a basic channel or something, and if it, or whatever.
yeah, I don't know.
The thing is, those guys weren't like that, you know, or the Detroit guys weren't like that. You know, when you talk to any of these Detroit guys, what do they say? Yeah, we listen to B-52s, Kraftwerk, Funkadelic,
Black Crows,
no, Black Crows, no, I don't know.
Jane's Addiction.
No, but
I'm just kidding.
Jesus. You know, the 80s stuff, like all the Mojo stuff and everything.
Gary Newman and
Yeah, exactly. They just put it all together and they got this amazing amalgamation. That's what makes it exciting. That's why, you know, we still look back to DJs like Ron Hardy or Larry Levant or Frankie Knuckles, because or Baldelli, they took things and they made sense out of all of it.
yeah.
You know, they weren't limiting themselves to this extremely streamlined viewpoint. This is what it is. This is how you define this. And, you know, I couldn't be that way. You know, I think.
So I mean, it's a weird time now. I mean, I guess everyone kind of agrees
Yeah.
that we don't really understand what's going on. And a weird thing to me that I've asked people this over and over is that it's a weird time. There's no hits. Like, have you noticed that? Like, you're out there touring all the time. Are there like songs that everybody's playing, like a full crossover kind of thing, or like stuff you notice?
No, man. I don't know. I mean, I think also there's probably hits in like the tech house scene and these Ibiza scene or hands in the air bullshit. But as far as this kind of more fucked up stuff that we do, that we're interested in, you know, there's not really hits. I mean, what was a hit? Space Invaders of Smoking Grass. That's like that was a hit.
The one that I keep mentioning is like the last one I can remember is like Inspector Norse or something like that. Or like
See, I don't even hear that. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I know it's Todd Terje, but
Yeah.
to me, I don't know. It hits Space Invaders, Smoking Grass, or Miss Kitten and the Hacker, Frank Sinatra. I don't know.
Talkin' Sofio.
What's that? What the hell is it?
You don't remember Talkin' Sofio on B Pitch Control? Missy Queen's Gonna Die.
No, I don't know.
10-inch.
I missed that one.
Electroclash hit.
I'll let
Console 1400.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
I saw
you know, Metro area. They always had hits.
in
Metro area. Those were hits.
The new one just came out. Did you listen to it?
No.
The Mall.
No.
It's kind of like a freestyle thing.
Okay. All right. I mean, this guy, you know, he did his thing, man. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to. He won't come on the podcast.
Oh no, why not?
I don't know. He's probably wants to be like episode 100 or something.
Whatever.
But I talk to him quite often. But
yeah, you're always friendly with this guy.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think because we're both jerks. Sorry. Yeah. No, I don't. He's not a jerk, but we're both. We have the same sense of humor, and we don't like to go out, and we like to go to like restaurants and stuff like that.
Sign me up, man. I'm there. Let me know.
I think him and Tim Sweeney go to lunches quite a bit. You should just ask Tim.
Maybe I'll barge in on
You
one
should
of them.
go. I think
I never met that guy.
No.
No, never. No.
You would get along with him. He's like just a regular ass dude.
Yeah, I know he's friends with a lot of people I'm friendly with, but yeah.
No, he's totally a normal guy.
Yeah.
You know. But I think they go to like Queens and go to like some like.
Yeah, all those guys always used to go to the Vietnamese place out in Queens. They have like, you know.
Yeah, they got whatever their Thai restaurant or
Right.
that's actually Thai food or like their
Right.
but they all do their things. But yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. before.
Hits. You said, are there any
No.
hits out there?
So the answer is no.
I don't think so.
Because it's
It-
just weird to me that there's no song that everybody plays like that. You're all like, yes, my song is on.
No, it's just I don't. I mean, it's just not that.
Because that's like a thing of like it's like one of these things that like goes back to like ancient cultures, like where you're all in the same moment together singing the same song.
Yeah, that shit is over, man. It's every man for himself up in this shit now, man. Apocalypse, man.
But I mean, I don't know. But so, I mean, what are these people experiencing when they go to the club? They're not having this like shared moment where everybody's like
I don't know.
together as one in an organism.
Yeah, this is like Paradise Garage style. I think those days are over, man. I mean, there's such clubbing is not what it was. It's not this. I really don't think it's this beautiful shared experience. I wasn't there. I wasn't. So I'm not gonna speculate on it. But I do believe it was like you would go there, and it was. You were there to go see Larry Levan. You knew that it was going to be mind-blowing every time. You knew he was going to play stuff you never heard before, and then stuff that you heard before. But those were songs too. Those had verse, chorus, verse, big bridge. I mean, like it was amazing orchestras and stuff. Now I don't know. I think people like to go. They like to take the drugs, and they like to lose themselves in the drugs and like heavy duty music and stuff. It's not about being together.
But so I mean, now people are playing this like a industrial techno or whatever. All this.
Well, it depends where you go.
Yeah.
It's all who you go to see. I mean, I think there's probably a million disco parties somewhere happening.
Are there?
I think so.
Where?
Definitely. I don't know. Isn't this Cocktail d'Amore a disco party?
I have no idea.
Yeah, those are you. I think you did a record for those guys.
Oh,
Isn't that Disco Drama? Those guys.
probably.
Cocktail d'Amore.
No, they're nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that's a disco. I think I think it all depends. I think it's out there if you want it.
But
to
do
find
they
it.
actually play disco, or they just say they do?
I don't know, man. I don't go to the nightclub unless I gotta play.
Yeah, I've never been to their party. I've tried, but I haven't.
I think like Jeffrey plays it all the time. Jeffrey S. Fire. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the DJ. I mean, for me, man, this is the most. We've always been fans, but Jeffrey, man, is like he's on, man.
Yeah.
He's always been dope, but even like.
He seems happier than ever.
Well, because he doesn't live here anymore. Wait, he doesn't live in Germany. Jesus Christ, that's like a death sentence living there.
The last time I saw him, he told me he got a boat. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
sounds nice.
I mean, Jeffrey's just like the sickest, man. I mean, he should be the headliner, man, for all this shit. He's like, I can't say much nice things about many DJs, but goddamn, man, Jeffrey, I can. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then he also has this. But I haven't got the new one. He's got a new record coming on Beats and Space. Is it out yet? There's a new Fire record.
I didn't know.
It's I know the files are floating around, and I think they've been played on Beats and Space. But
Okay.
there's a new Fire record, which is Jeffrey and Sophie.
I don't know who Sophie is.
Did you know that?
What's who's
Sophie is that weird
That's like experimental club or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know anything about it. I know it's like
it's like this like high pitched vocal kind of thing.
I never checked it out.
But it's really like one of those weird Resident Advisor super popular things like from 2 years ago.
Okay.
Sophie, you never heard of that?
No. Yeah, now I know what you mean, Sophie.
But the other guy from
it's
Fire,
it's experimental club.
it's Jeffrey and that guy or girl or whatever.
All right.
I don't know what pronoun
Well,
to use.
I'm interested to hear it.
But supposedly it's really good. But I haven't heard it yet. But I also heard that I heard another version of like one of the older Fire versions.
Well, didn't you remix one of them?
Yeah, wasn't very good.
Okay.
I tried. It's hard when the song is so good. You can't. I
Yeah.
like really like the song,
Right.
so you like want to do it justice for the first time ever.
Right.
Like get to remix a song you really like.
Yeah, and you
get-
fucked it up.
So you like try so hard that it just
Shit,
sucks.
man.
I tried.
You should have just made a dub version.
It's okay. It's not. I can make it through the song. It's not like.
You just gotta run it through the echo chamber, man.
No, but just like when something is
Sure.
that's a really good record. But I heard there was like another version with like a girl singing.
Okay.
But it was of like the old, I don't know. Ask Tim. He'll probably give you the files.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, I mean,
go see Jeffrey's Fire.
Jeffrey's the man.
I remember I met him on a tour in Chicago.
Okay.
He was with Elliot Lip
Yeah.
and what's his name? Adam Adam Lee. Remember him?
I don't remember him.
Oh, he was like another.
I remember, of course, I remember Elliot. Where's he these days?
Elliot moved back to New York.
Oh yeah,
He's
he
been
lives in
around.
New York.
He's been around again. He still lives in Greenpoint, and but he's still around. He's doing vinyl only DJ sets now.
Okay.
Him and Mishna are playing quite.
Adrian, yeah, of course. DJ Egg Foo Young, man.
But
I know him a
you know
long
what's
time.
You know what's weird is that
Sick electro DJ.
Adrian Mishna, his brother, runs Jenkum.
What's that?
Jenkum is a huge skateboarding like video kind of thing. Jenkum, I don't know. It's just a weird like because I was like because I watch a lot of skateboarding videos. I was like watching the video, and then like the guy who runs Jenkum comes on, and it's like one of these. It's kind of like this like Supreme related.
Okay.
But not really Supreme, but like this. What was this? Jason Dill's brand.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like this kind of style.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was watching. I was like, that guy looks just like Adrian, like
And it
Mishna.
really
And
is.
then
His
I asked Elliot. I was like, is this guy related to him? And he's like, yeah, that's his brother.
Damn.
Super weird. Whatever. This is just a weird New York connection. But Elliot's around.
Adrian's old school, man.
Yeah, Adrian's been around too. He's still they play at Tropical whatever that place the guy from Detroit owns that bar with the 2-story.
I don't know.
Place.
I've been away for a while.
Yeah, it's like a place tropical something tropical whatever. It's like
Tropical Fantasy.
yeah, whatever. It's like a place that we wouldn't go to, but people go. Whatever. I don't know. Have some more of this wine.
Hell yeah.
It's not bad, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
Acceptable
I approve.
drinking wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're watching Talk Video here with Ron Morelli. My name is William Burnett.
I'm getting into it here.
We're on the second bottle now.
Yeah.
We're
now we're getting loose.
we're getting deep.
Yeah.
What do we miss? So you've moved to Europe now.
Yeah.
And
U.S. Yeah. You said do I have?
and you become a professional DJ.
Yeah.
So
Embarrassingly enough.
So you're making a living off of that.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
No.
No other. No.
That's it.
And you think it's gonna work out? What is there? Is there an escape plan, or is there? You think you're gonna just?
There's no. I mean, there's no escape plan. I mean, there's no way out either. This never. I mean, this doesn't really end. I mean, it ends for sure, but it doesn't. It ends one day when like the phone doesn't ring anymore. And then you're fucked. I don't recommend this to anybody. If you're aspiring to do this as a profession, if you think it's a good idea, I would say don't do it.
I mean, that's the thing that I say.
It's just a terrible idea.
It's weird too, because there's so many more people doing it now.
Well, I never asked for this either.
Yeah, but say you do it, and yeah, you make it. You do your travel. You get your your Sky Miles or whatever. You get your lounge access. You do it for 6 or 10 years.
Right.
And then you're all of a sudden you're 50 years old.
Yeah.
And did you save your money? You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do?
You better have.
Like especially if you're an American, like you still need to buy your health insurance and have a place to live, and like.
Yeah, I think
you better have like married a rich woman or a rich person.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, did all the people that are jumping into it now, like, did they realize what?
Well, it is great because it's a young person's game, and like all music is. If you look at hip hop or rock and roll or whatever, it is a young person's game. So like, even though there's like this new music that comes in, it might not be my thing. It's just it is. It's always going to evolve. Like it is for young, young people. So when you're young, you don't really think, you don't really use your head. And for some people it does work out. There's, as you've been around this, there's some people who are like legitimately really like, they have managers, they have this, they have that. This is like this long-term thing that they've been planning out. I think for people like yourself or me, when we did this, there was 0% plan at all, I mean, you've always worked a job, I've always worked a job. It's so maybe these young people, they're saying, okay, I mean, I've spoken to some of these DJs and producers, mostly British ones. They're like, well, I'm going to do a record for this label, then I'm going to do a record for this label, then I'm going to get this licensed by that thing and make this much. I'm like, who the fuck are you, man? What kind of asshole does this kind of shit, man?
I don't know.
It's like this shit. When you do that kind of shit, I mean, that shit is fake as fuck. So yeah, I don't. But there's that side of it all too, because there are people like that.
Yeah.
Then you get people who are just like, yo, I just do this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like some you know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't get lucky. That's all. That's it. You know, but you know, there's also a difference. You got to be, you know, I mean, obviously I'm 1,000% committed to this as well. I mean, there is no other option either.
Yeah.
There is no other option. I can't be out in society. Don't let me out there. Don't let me.
I mean, what are you
going to
do? You're living in Paris now, so this ends. This is just a fun exercise.
Sure, we can do this.
And you need to earn some money to pay your rent.
Yeah.
You don't speak French.
Yeah, that's right.
What would you do?
There's always something, man. I can always figure it out. I have no. I'm
You
not
just,
worried.
Like
I always.
you like ship boxes for somebody.
I figured it out before I could figure it out again. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that's.
But what? Say you got to do it. What would be your go-to? What would be your first?
Oh, I don't know. I might get into the wine, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get like move boxes or something.
Just whatever. I'll
Do the
I'll
forklift.
run the wine warehouse. I'll be the back end. I'll be a greeter at a restaurant. Jesus, God forbid that would happen.
No, it's just a crazy thing to think about.
I mean, it will happen. You know, at some point, this ends. You know, everything ends. You know, there's no doubt in my mind it ends.
Well, you got to build up your passive income,
Yeah. Well, passive income? What the hell is that?
like digital royalties
Oh,
and
well,
stuff
shit,
like that.
man.
You know, you like, get it to where you get like a couple $1,000s a month.
Wow. Yeah. Let's
This
see.
of this. You know, you've been putting out records recently.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you get a hit or something.
Yeah.
or-
These things aren't hits. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but maybe they accumulate and they get some kind of cult following and perhaps
Well, that's more of a realistic.
perhaps
thing.
these like streaming thing. You know, you do all your rights to that stuff.
I don't touch. I have never done any of it. I never.
They don't do it.
I've never registered. I work with only the most unprofessional professional labels out there.
Well, you should do that.
Yeah.
You should. It's not. It doesn't take that much effort. You just have to do it once, and it's forever.
Yeah.
You know, you put your little fingerprint on it,
Yeah.
and then you get your mechanical royalties
Well, I'm gonna put it on the to-do list.
for the rest of your life.
We'll
I
see.
mean, I don't know how it works. It's here. Anybody listening? Also, it's called no, I'm not gonna remember the name of it. Can't remember now. God dang it.
Well, whatever. Look it up on the internet.
Sign up for your mechanical rights. Do your publishing. It's worth it.
Don't look up any weird stuff on the internet.
Yeah,
Like those videos.
Yeah, stay away from the snuff films.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, who knows?
Sound Exchange is the name of the company.
Yeah, I heard
in
of
the
that.
US.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you have a digital distribution, they'll also help you out with that stuff.
Yeah.
But
but yeah, you can't. I don't know. You can't look
But
too
I'm just
far.
saying, no, but if you this is something you can do now.
Right.
And if it has some whatever, the internet is going to become more and more of a thing. And if you register your stuff now and you get that, you
Right.
say you get whatever $1,000 a month
Sounds good to me.
for free for
Yeah.
stuff that you made when you were 40 years old,
Yeah.
then it might be worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what happens. You know. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be worth it for you to just figure that out real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Put it on the list. This is like it's a long list of things to do.
No, but I think that's a pretty important step
Yeah.
that should be at the top.
All right. Well, 2020, here we come. You know.
I registered your Strange Birds. It says Ron
Oh.
Morelli as your publishing.
Oh, thank you.
But you have to pick a number. You have to
All
go
right.
in there and claim it
All right. Well, thanks for doing
for
that.
all 40 copies that sold.
Hey, when
If you
make
want to
it-
take a box on the plane with you,
I can't. Thank you though.
Two
We'll just
boxes.
wait
Two
when it
boxes.
becomes a cult hit.
I also found out that Brooklyn Phono recycles records.
Ah,
You could just take them down there and
great.
just throw them out. You don't have to pay for the dumpster. I'm thinking about it. Phil South told me he does it.
Good.
He was like, no, I fixed his record player the other day, and he was like, I was like, I don't know, man.
Where's he live? He lives upstate.
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay.
He has like some kind of,
He's got a restaurant up there.
yeah, or a laundromat club or something. I don't know what
Alright.
it is. Something weird.
That's cool. Sounds nice.
Yeah, he seemed pretty happy, and
Get the fuck out of the city. That's
no,
nice.
but he said that he had records that he had put out that didn't sell,
Yeah.
and instead of throwing them away, he took them to Brooklyn Phono. And they
Wow.
punch out the center and recycle them.
All right. God bless you.
Would you do that, or would you throw them away?
I'd throw them away. I'm not gonna bullshit. That shit's going in the green dumpster. You know.
I'm gonna try to unload them off on somebody like that wants them for free, like some distributor or store.
Just put them in the thing. Slowly.
Yeah, they'll just go in the dumpster there too.
You know, it'll become a thing classic.
Yeah, so it'll be like in 30 years.
Yeah.
I found a box of WT records.
Yeah. There you go. You can make your, everyone makes their own myths. There it is.
Oh, jeez, depressing. Yeah, I don't know. I might rather recycle them.
No.
Then they'll be more rare.
No. Well, it's like all the Italo stuff, all the reason the Italo stuff is so rare is because those were records that didn't sell,
Yeah.
and then they had to destroy most of the copies because they would get their money back on the taxes. So they were only really that's the whole thing, right? They would destroy all the unsold copies, and then that's why certain of these records there's only 300 in circulation because only 300 sold.
But the other thing that I've seen that's weird now is like I started trying to put my whole collection on Discogs just to like see, like have a collection or whatever.
Right.
And the weird stuff the stuff that's expensive now, it's like surprising to me. It's like a it's like newer records that they only pressed 300 or 500 in 2003 or something like that. Like stuff you wouldn't expect, but like it's all the stuff that we were around from 2000 to 2006, like
Weird.
because they only made 300 of them.
Right.
They're rare.
Huh.
But at that time they couldn't even sell 300.
Oh.
But I mean, but who gets that money, like it's a weird thing, like just some asshole that happened to be a
Yeah, there's tons of assholes out there. It's mostly assholes. So, fuck them.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a world of assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, people like, you live in France. Don't you find the people to be assholes? I said, I find people to be assholes everywhere I go, dude. What the fuck?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I like the French, man, to be honest. I mean, give or take.
It's the same.
Same everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Everyone should just be destroyed. I mean, it's on its way there as it is.
Yeah,
I mean, this whole world is just going to hell. That's like, right? That's something you expect your father. This world's going to hell, but it kind of is. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my life is okay.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
life-
Well, yeah. I mean, we can afford to say that.
yeah,
That's for sure.
we have a good life, and I don't know.
That's for sure. I mean, you're not living in fucking Syria. I mean, that's insane. You see these people complain about this and that and everything, and this person called me this, and I'm not this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, it's like, who are you to even speak about your small problems when, like, people are just being destroyed left and right? It's just nuts. I mean, everyone's got their own shit to deal with, granted, but it's just crazy.
Yeah, I wonder when that's gonna happen in the U.S.
When society is just going to get
Like,
torn
fall
to
apart-
shreds.
fall apart.
The thing is,
I wonder if it's possible.
there's too many people here. It's too big,
Do you think it's gonna level off, or it's gonna destroy itself?
No, I think it's going to destroy itself. I can't. I mean, you would hope to be optimistic, but there's
But like from natural disaster, or from like a social?
probably both. I mean, so I don't think there'll ever be complete social chaos in the streets, like just people just going ballistic, like ripping each other in half. But
I don't know if people get hungry. Could
It
be
hasn't
rough.
happened yet. The government is a good way of keeping people fucking down, dude.
But I mean, what you see, if this, we see this thing called global warming
Well,
happening,
that's happening. I mean, that's for sure.
and then like okay, yeah, like all the people in New Orleans and
Yeah, they're going to be
Miami
displaced.
and
Everyone's going to be displaced.
they have to go to whatever.
Everyone's going to live and go to Colorado or
Yeah.
North Dakota or
Yeah,
something.
they got to move to Dallas all of
Yeah.
a sudden, or
Well, then it could happen through that as well. Yeah, I
like,
mean,
where are they gonna go?
yeah,
But also the weird thing too is that, but will that also be like, there's been this migration of people to cities. Like if you're a college kid from our generation, you generally move to New York or L.A. So there's like been this like people leaving the suburbs and leaving, like will that be just us repopulating Nebraska?
Probably.
And
I mean, you should. I mean, if you're really smart, you should get some sort of some bunker right now, like up in Colorado. You go, you check out the bunker.
I don't know if I want to go to Colorado.
Well, I mean, dude, is there a real choice? I mean, But the other thing is, I don't want to be alive when the world is in complete chaos. I mean, give me the suicide pill immediately. I don't need it. I mean, do you really want to live through that?
I don't know.
I don't think you do. You're into like science fiction and shit like that.
I don't know. I
You
don't
want to live through it.
Well, I mean,
What? It's not going to like get better. There's not going to be some benevolent king who bestows his generosity and fixes all the problems.
Well, I mean, you're given what you got, and you should enjoy what we got.
Well, there's going to be no enjoying shit then.
Well, it's not that bad yet.
But it's going to get bad, dude. It is going to get bad quick. I am a firm believer of that, man. It's going to get bad and it's going to happen fast.
Do you think it's yeah?
It's going to happen, man. I have no doubt. I mean, dude, you see it every day. You see the weather patterns. It's fucking nuts, dude.
No, because I was here. You were here. Were you here in the blackout? You were in Philly.
No, I was here in the blackout.
So I mean, something like that. Say New York City, or Paris, or wherever wherever you're
I
living.
mean, Paris could never handle a blackout. They can't handle like a centimeter of fucking snow.
Well, I mean, say something happens and okay,
Jesus.
In the trucks can't come in for a week.
Yeah.
People are going to get hungry.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
gonna
then if it becomes 2 weeks, then people might the old people will start.
you're gonna have
dying
to eat
and
motherfuckers.
No, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, it's going to be it would be interesting.
I'm not interested in that world. There's there's nothing keeping me here, man.
Would you still DJ?
I mean that yeah. No, I think that would be my retirement plan. World chaos.
Oh Jesus!
Forced retirement.
So
Where do we get? Now we're going in.
yeah, now we're on.
Jesus.
Do you got Alex Jones's number?
Shit, man.
Um,
Get him on here.
This is what happens when you drink wine.
Wow.
Here,
I mean, shit, man. If we had another bottle, then we'd really go in.
I don't know, man.
Still a little left.
I got there. What will be? We got some left. What other things? What did we miss? Did like you came in here? You knew you were gonna do this today.
Yeah.
Did you have some things that you wanted to talk about or didn't want to talk about or were worried about talking about?
Not so much. I mean,
And is there something that we didn't cover that you wanted to say something about?
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Like you just came here and you did a couple shows in the U.S. Was it much different than the Europe stuff?
I mean, to be honest, they were great shows.
Yeah. The U.S. has been good lately.
It's great. The people here really appreciate it when they come out to the gigs. New York is a different story, but New York, everyone's spoiled and everyone's kind of fucking asshole. But
it's still good sometimes.
But we'll see how the Sunday thing goes. I got to do the Sunday thing.
Depends on what's the weather going to be like
on Sunday. I don't know. It's this small
weird science.
Weird science, yeah.
It's nice.
But L.A. was great. San Fran was great. Chicago was great. Mexico City was great. So yeah, I mean, it was just super cool.
It's pretty cool that Mexico City is now part of the regular North America.
It's great, man. Shit, man. I will go back there anytime.
Yeah,
it's super killer.
That's good. That North America. I mean, that Mexico, Central America, and South America are starting to be part of the.
Yeah.
the regular.
Well, it's crazy that you can go to Mexico City more than you can go to like Miami or something. Like when
Yeah.
do you go to Miami? You never go.
I've never played there.
There you go. So that's like weird. Like it's a big city. This kind of.
Yeah, I don't have any desire.
I kind of like it there.
Miami.
Yeah, I like you go there, eat some food, and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I never played there. I've been there a couple times, but not just for not since 2000 or something.
Right.
It's been 20 years since I've been there. I'm supposed to go and visit my in-laws, but
Oh yeah, they live in Miami.
yeah.
Interesting. You should go, man. Go in like March when the weather's really crappy here and just relax.
Getting some hurricanes. Or
Nah, there ain't no hurricanes down there then.
in March, I don't know. When
No, in the fall is when the hurricanes are. March, like the weather's super nice. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I come back like once a year, maximum twice a year to do gigs here, and I love them actually. They're just like every time I've been going to San Francisco, I'm going to I'm playing in a record store, and they have a license, and it closes at 2. It's like you and one other person, and it's just the people. It's like old school shit. The people are there for the music. They can drink beer or whatever and have a good time, and but it's like it's super sick. You just play what you want, and people are just going wild. It's sick.
Is that record store's doing okay?
Yeah.
RS. I can't
9-4. I know it's.
I can't remember the number.
Me
either.
neither.
94209.
Something like that.
09.
Exactly. Yeah, they do a good job, and that's where the Dark Entry's office is too.
But it's like full on Tenderloin.
Oh yeah, it's grimy as fuck. It's right up in there.
When my old roommate used to work at a strip club, it was like very, very nearby.
Yeah, grimy. San Francisco's grimy, dude.
But I can't. I mean, so the U.S. I mean, I'm okay with. I like playing in the U.S. now. I'm even happy with just playing in New York lately. But that you're I don't know. You haven't really hung out much.
No.
But it's still okay. It's still. I mean, there's still. But the thing I like is you still have these gigs where nobody gives a shit who you are.
Yeah, I mean
and those are my.
That's how
gigs.
it should be, actually.
Yeah, and those are that's when I like to DJ. It's like you're trying to do a good job for these people, trying to have a good time that night. So that still goes on here, and that's why I still like to play here.
But it really, it should. The DJ, I mean, that's the problem with it. Like you're playing on the floor, and everyone looking at you. It's like that's not how it should be.
Yeah.
It's better when you're, of course, you can't really compare it, but it's the truth. It's when you're Larry Levant or Ron Hardy and you're away. You're up there, and everyone is, on the floor. No one cares about who's playing the music. It is the music just blowing your mind, and that's the only thing you should be thinking about, not who's playing it.
I wonder if they'll do that again. The DJ booth, like out of sight.
It should be like that, man.
I would really prefer it because then you could sit down.
And then also, though, for you as a DJ, I like this because you have full concentration too. There's no like
people looking at you.
Yeah, man. It's like, and that doesn't totally bother me. But sometimes it's just like there's someone all drugged up and they're like up in your face and whatever, and you're just like, dude, can you just get the fuck out of the face, man? Just go away, man. You know?
I mean, I played last night and
it's just too much.
There were some kids that they were really young. I mean, they were probably obviously like 20 or 21, and they were at my New Year's gig, and they were really nice kids, and they were excited to be there, and they were just like leaning on the DJ table, like looking at the CDJs, like seeing what song I was playing and stuff like that.
Don't be doing that shit.
They like don't know how to behave. It was really weird.
Yeah, just let the DJ be out of fucking sight. It's just, who cares who the fuck's playing the music, man? It's like, it's inconsequential, man. Is the DJ sick? Is the music sick? It's like when you listen to a radio mix, you don't know who, unless like the show announcer is announcing the name or who it is or whatever. You don't know who it is. It's just best off like that.
There was on WBLS, I think, yesterday or today, we were listening, and it was like DJ Tall Guy.
That's a cool name, man.
I know.
DJ Tall Guy. That's all right.
I was like, damn, because they've had the same few DJs for a while now.
They had the Latin Bull Ruben Toro. I remember this guy's.
Yeah, they got I mean, they got the regular ones. And they even have like, what's the guy from LA? They have play oh, God damn it, I can't remember now. But they have the same DJs. But this was the first time I've heard a new name in a while.
All right.
DJ Tall Guy. But he was,
DJ
I mean,
Tall Guy.
of course he's playing the same thing. He's playing like Padlock and like.
Yeah, but God
whatever.
bless him,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Someone's got it. Thank God that's still on the radio.
I still want to hear it. You know?
Hell yeah, man. That's like the sick shit.
Yeah, I played it on New Year's. Yeah.
It's super sick.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. We got to hear that shit, man.
Yeah.
It's killer. It's like it's just timeless.
Yeah.
And you yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. There's no hits anymore, so it's weird.
Wow, but
me.
those are real songs too, man. You know, those are real. Those are put
But
together.
Somebody's got to be making real songs now.
I'm sure there is, but it's not a club hit.
Mm.
You know,
That's too bad.
it's just not a. I mean, you know, it's just not a club hit. I don't know. I mean, the people in you know again. I guess it depends on where you go, but people into some terrible ass shit. But they've always been into terrible shit. So it's like, why is it a surprise? You know, should we be really shocked that like it's like, oh, most people into stuff that's awful? Wow, that's most of life.
Mm. Should we keep going? How much longer do you want to go?
Whatever you want to do.
I don't know.
How long has this been?
We've been going for 2 hours and 29 minutes.
All right. I mean, we could finish the bottle. I mean, you can always edit it.
I'm not gonna edit anything. It's too much work.
Shit, man.
It's like extra effort.
All right, well, let's crush it.
We can finish it in the other room and
Yeah, yeah. You know, I think maybe the one thing was that we didn't really maybe speak about was, you know, the fact that somehow there was like, you know, at the time when the label did come up in New York, kind of a scene did end up revolving around the label somehow. Like a bunch of things happened at once too, with like John opened Bossa Nova at that time, and that
John Barclay.
Yeah, and that place was, you know, he's always been extremely supportive. That place is just like, kind of almost like a ground zero for everyone to play at when we were doing it too.
Yeah, and Nick Bookworms is still involved.
Right. Yeah, and you know, that was just, you know, I think one of the reasons that the label was able, and it was interesting, is because at that time in New York, what was really happening, there wasn't so much going on. It was kind of right place at the right time, and a lot of the people that we were friends with had made a bunch of music too. It just kind of came together. Like it was quite lucky, I think.
Yeah.
Which ended up being interesting, and I think maybe a lot of stuff sparked off of that in many different spheres and whatever. But
what still exists of that now?
Well, that's the thing. It's a different animal now. You can't say, you know, it's a completely different animal. I mean, 10 years later, it's something else.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
I mean, we're old now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We're kicked out.
Definitely.
We're irrelevant.
It's old news, man.
Yeah.
It's old news. I mean, there's no doubt about that. No, but I mean, we definitely, I mean, still, when the time is right, always work with, like, you know, the OG guys and everything like that. You know, I mean, when it's appropriate to do it and when it's time to do it. But, you know, even like these guys like Cienfuegos and Miguel and Klein, those guys are kind of like did their thing. You know, they to me are like almost a you know, they had their label. They kept changing around, but they had, like, when I saw those guys, I'm like, this is sick. This is like these guys, they came up here from Miami, you know, all about at the same time, and they just like put this crew together, and they just like did their shit. That's why I was like, I got to get these guys on. You know, I wanted to get them on.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar. I followed it a little bit through the music, but I don't know 'em very well.
But to me, it was like I just saw them as like part two of like doing their own thing, and you know, I want to be supportive of that.
But but Nick moved sort of away, and
yeah,
Cienfuegos, is he still here?
Yeah. I had drinks with him the other night.
Okay, so
he's in effect.
I'm not familiar with anything anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even let me in the club.
Well, come on now.
I guess
you got to leave the house if you want to be in the club, all right?
I guess so, you're right.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, I think also there's like really, there is, really cool stuff happening now in New York too. Like Richard Gamble and them do, I think, a really good job of what they do. They do their label, they do their club night. They put on like festivals. I mean, that's more than I've ever done. I could. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd slit my wrist if I had to do a festival.
Zach Kearns.
Yeah, I think they've done. They've went further because I don't think there was even that much kind of left field or extreme or kind of music as far as dance music was concerned. It was very straight laced around 2010.
Yeah,
like you were saying, it was a weird time.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. The festival culture was not in the U.S. like at all. You would have like some private parties where people would go hang out, but
it's still not really.
If we
here.
thought of festivals, we thought of like Lollapalooza
completely
or like Warp Tour,
something like that.
But we didn't have this like a whatever like a mutual dream. What's it called?
Sustain release.
Sustain release.
Right.
We didn't have that kind of thing. And
well, that's the only like
boutique.
Boutique European style hippie.
So now it's starting to exist, and some other people are trying it too, and we'll see where it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, there's again, it's the U.S., so there's no infrastructure for it. I think it could happen like here and there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Because there's these huge festivals that have been like these jam bands and Grateful Dead, and
well,
it's been going on here for a long time.
Well, that's another animal, though.
But it's not our world.
I mean, shit, man.
So there is the infrastructure here. It's just it's as simple as them booking something else.
Yeah, they just don't give a shit
and
about
being able to fill the same place. Like
I mean, the bottom line
when
is
Infected Mushroom comes and plays. They can fill up 100,000 people or what, like.
Yeah, but the bottom line is the door will never be open to what we do. It's just the bottom line.
Why not?
Because it's all fucked up. That's just how it is. They don't want what we do. I don't think so, man. They want a management company. They want something that's glossy. They don't want the extreme shit. They don't want it. It's just not happening. The world won't be here in 20 years. I won't say it'll happen in 20 years. We'll be dead.
You think Donald Trump's going to get elected again?
100%.
I think he's going to lose big time.
I think you're tripping, dude.
You think so?
Man, I will put some money on that shit,
really?
Man. Homeboy's going to win this motherfucker. He is winning, dude.
You think so?
Definitely. He's like Darth Vader, man. He's becoming stronger by the day, man? The more hate you give him, the stronger that motherfucker gets, man.
That's terrible.
I hate to say it, but that's the truth.
I think
this guy is like he's the stable genius.
No, I think it's going to be like when the Bushes weren't able to serve 2 terms,
I mean, this guy is doing it, dude. He's an animal. He's a sick animal, but it's going to happen. They need like Oprah Winfrey to run to win.
I've been saying that for years, but
she would win.
Yeah.
She would definitely win.
She doesn't want to go to politics, I don't think.
Smart.
It would ruin her life.
Die rich, But straight up, dude.
Die rich.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much that should just you should make shirts.
Die rich. I'll put that on the list too.
Die rich in like 69, like
Die
a
rich.
number on the back.
Die rich 2020.
Like dollar signs. Instead of like a number on the back of your soccer jersey, you just have like $2 signs. Die rich.
I mean, die rich. That's the saying, dude. But I mean, Bloomberg. He's got the financial stuff. He could like kind of do what he's got to do.
It's dark times, man.
It's been dark for a goddamn long time, dude. It's dark as fuck. It's super dark.
It'd be cool to be like proud to be an American again, or at least I know.
I'm proud to be an American. I mean, America is sick. I mean, when I come here, I'm stoked to come back here and shit. But I mean, you go out to LA, I'm tripping when I'm out there.
Well, that's a different world.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. I come back here, it's just like nastiness, concrete.
Well, you always come at Christmas, which is not a nice time of year.
It's not very festive this year. I was talking to John's like, it did really feel festive this year. I'm like,
we got the new we got the menorah or whatever. Did you see that shit down outside of Alligator Lounge or whatever?
What the hell are you even talking about?
What was that place on Greenpoint Avenue and not Greenpoint, but on the corner of No, Greenpoint and Kent, where they used to give free pizza, not Alligator Lounge.
Yeah, Alligator Lounge.
They got a fucking menorah or whatever.
Good.
The Jewish,
Yeah.
like a huge one with the Jewish calendar year written.
Why?
Yeah, there's just an outdoor one there now.
What for? Is they still serving pizza? What's the
No,
story?
we have Hanukkah, you know.
There's always been Hanukkah, man.
No,
There's
I know, but
million
there's
Jews
like
here.
there's like an outdoor lit candle for Hanukkah now on the
Wow.
corner.
God bless them, man. I love the Jews, man.
Yeah,
Respect.
things
Respect to all my Jews out there. I ain't a Jew, but I feel you.
whatever. I don't care who you are. You're fine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a lover of everyone, a hater of everyone.
Nobody chooses who they are. You know.
That's right. God, I wouldn't be me if I could fucking pay. Jesus.
All
Put me
right.
in another body here.
We've gone too far.
That's it.
We've gone. I think we beat John Barclay now. maybe.
Damn. All right. Well,
Or-
respect to John Barkley too. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Ron Morelli here on Talk Video,
All right.
and we're gonna go in the other room. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks.